Hello and welcome to another episode, another week of Do Go On, a podcast with me, Dave Warnicky, and you, the listener, but also rounding out the trio plus one, you are the plus one. It is Matt Stewart and Jess Perkins.
Yay!
Hey, welcome to the show, Jess.
Thank you, Matt. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, I feel real good. Yeah, real good being here today. Thanks for the question. Without notice, admittedly, so I don't have a pre-prepared answer, but I'll have a stab at it. What was it again? I think I've just in one ear out the other. What was? Hit me again, and I'll give you an answer. Let's see how we go. And action.
How are you?
Pass.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Say line.
Oh, line.
Say good.
Good.
Excellent.
And
All
scene.
right,
And
and
scene.
scene.
Thank
Okay.
you. Okay.
Well, we'll let you know if you've got the part.
Yeah,
of
thank
Matt
you.
Stewart
Thanks
on
so
the
much for
pod.
seeing
We've
me.
got your
Thanks-
details.
Thanks
so,
for having me in anyway.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Okay, great. Oh, that sounds positive. Trying to save me 40 cents.
Thank you so
Is
much.
that how much a phone
Oh
call
my
costs?
goodness.
Great. Something, yeah, all right. No, that's good. I feel good. Do you mind if I hang in for the rest of the...
Ooh.
Oh.
Because I thought maybe as you see other people, I could maybe give them feedback.
Oh, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? And very intimidating for them.
This
sure.
is Matt. He's also auditioning for your role. He just wants to watch you to see if you're better than him.
No, that's not at all what I would be doing. I'd be helping them out. You know, I'd give them notes like, have a bigger beard and, be dopier sounding. You know, stuff about
Those
how to
sorts
get to
of
the
things.
top.
Yeah.
Top of the game, top of the pile.
You were auditioning for the role of beardless hunk.
Yeah.
Have a bigger beard.
So I'm confused. What
be,
are you-
dope.
be
Dopier.
dopier.
Yep.
Be less of a hunk.
If you could be a little more ugly,
Yeah.
that would help the role. I had an audition earlier this week.
Ooh.
Which sounds interesting, but it actually isn't. But the thing that reminded me is that it was me and a guy auditioning together, and he was very good looking. Like he was very cute.
I know that we shouldn't do this, but out of 10.
Oh, like an 8.
So similar to Matt, in between a Matt and a Dave?
Yeah, that's right.
In between, meaning I'm either a 9 or a 10.
Wait, that's not how 8 works, Dave.
He's the numbers guy.
He's in between Matt and Dave, so you're a 7. Theoretically, he's an 8, and
Wow.
that would make me a 9.
Why did you just decide Matt's a 7?
And what happened with the 10? Anyway, I'm sure you were wrong there.
Yeah.
It was either a 7 or a 9, Dave, and you said a 9 or a 10. Look, we're
Very
getting bogged down.
confusing.
Look, if
in
I'm
the
above
numbers
him
game.
and he's an 8, I could be a 9 or a 10.
Oh, yeah, right.
Comedically, I'm not a 10, and
All right.
that's the joke here.
Look,
but Jess, please go on.
Oh, that's why it didn't compute with me, because
'Cause
I'm
it
like,
was-
yeah, obviously,
Well, it
where's
was
the joke?
comedic. So, of course, you didn't get it.
It was more that, I'm like, I mean, if it was going to be comedic, it'd have to be some sort of unrealistic
Something-
stretch.
Again, this is a situation where Dave has a pre-prepared comedy
And Matt's
answer.
gone-
Not pre-prepared. Dad, you brought that in.
We discussed it before you got here.
Okay.
But Matt
Well-
goes, wow, this is an interesting question.
Yeah, and Matt's gone,
ooh.
hang on, just let me look at the data on this
Yeah.
before I get back to you with a final
Now,
answer.
I mean, taking all the variables.
I was taking that very seriously when
But-
we were starting to...
Talk about a hot guy, which I'd love to talk about.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
but-
anyway, he's a hunk. So he's
He's a
TV ugly. Is it one of those roles? Whenever I've gone in for a few that are like
know what you
supposedly
mean.
some sort of an ugly character, and
Yeah.
then you go, and I've heard other people talk about this. You go in and they're like, it's ugly guy too.
Yep.
For an ad or something, you go in and you're sitting in the waiting room at the casting
Yeah.
agent, and it's no one else is ugly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, these guys aren't ugly.
Hey, you're
Do
not
you want
ugly
ugly or do you want ugly?
No, they want TV ugly, which
They
is beautiful.
they don't want ugly.
They don't want ugly at all. No, this guy was not TV ugly. He was TV...
Fine. TV fine.
He wasn't a
What are we talking?
McDreamy.
Hugh Jackman?
Nah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point was that he was not a great actor.
Okay.
But
So,
that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because he's so good looking.
Thank you.
But I was a better actor than him, but I'm average looking, and
Oh.
also
Oh,
was
Jess,
playing
this-
a...
come on.
It's
what's
very
this?
early in the
No,
show
no,
for
no, no, no,
fishing.
no, no,
All
no,
right,
I'm not
you're gonna
fish-
get.
no,
look,
I'm not
Do you
talking-
do
no,
you
I
want
don't- I
do you
don't-
want gross tweets?
I want you to shut
Are
the
you
fuck up.
asking for sleazy tweets or? Because you've just what you've just done
no.
is go, hey everyone out there, any sort of oddballs in their quiet, dark basement bedrooms underneath their mum's house. Just send me a
Tell
tweet.
me I'm pretty.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna
Please,
happen. It's
absolutely
gonna happen.
do not do that.
Do not tag me
You
into those
started
tweets.
that.
Please don't tag me in. I don't want to see it.
Okay, now it's happening and now you're getting tagged in.
No, fuck.
You fucking idiots. No.
Don't tag Dave in.
Oh, don't fuck. I was going to be fine. No one was going to tag me unless they were going to tell me if am I a 9 or am I a 10? That's the question I'm wondering.
Okay, yeah.
Is it 9 or 10?
Answer that, but don't talk to me. Don't talk to me.
So,
ever again.
Because he was not a great actor and you were a great actor, are you thinking that
Again,
you won't get cast, but he will?
I wasn't saying that I was a great actor. I was saying that I was better than him and he was
I'd like to go to
bad.
the tape. I think I heard the
said I was
phrase
better.
great
I
actor.
said I was better.
I think she even said great actor.
I've forgotten the point of what I was saying
I
now.
don't think there was one.
No,
The point
it
is-
was just a brag that I had an audition.
The point is, for acting, you're a 9 or a 10. For looks, I'm a 9 or a 10. And for statistics, Matt still has to look at the record because he's
Yeah.
not sure
He's
yet.
not sure.
No.
Oh, wow.
Can we get those numbers?
Yeah, I'll get him. I'll get
them
my
on
people.
my desk.
My people to call your people.
Thank you.
You have a desk?
Of course I do.
Fuck.
He's successful.
Do you have a desk?
No.
There we go.
Yeah, you don't. You do, Jess.
I know.
Here.
I have two. I have one at home.
You're sitting
too.
at one right
Yeah,
now.
I know. I
No,
got
well,
heaps
that's
of
not true.
desks. I'm sitting at a table.
You love the desks.
What?
I was going to say you love the D, like it was a
Oh,
D
sure.
for desk, but then I bailed on it because
It would have
it's
sounded
going to
worse.
sound... Can you please edit that out?
Nah.
Sorry.
Hey, speaking of desks,
Yes.
if I may, we actually haven't talked about this. We're doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival. Our shows are next month. How are we going to set that up? Are we going to be sitting at a table?
I was thinking that too.
I was picturing just,
Armchairs.
3 or 4
Bean
chairs
bags.
on the stage, handheld mics.
Beanbags would be cool.
Oh, handheld, but what about the person doing the report?
Yeah, the report. Because usually we sit...
On the lap.
Well, otherwise you got a mic right in front of your face. What's the point of going to see someone who you can't see their bloody face?
Yeah, I reckon
So
handhold's fine. I
Especially
reckon.
if you're a 9 or a 10.
True. And we are?
No, Davis.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
I am. You're
Right.
not, you'll be acting, obviously.
So that'll be
Oh,
a 9
yeah,
or a
okay.
10, apparently.
Matt will be looking at the stats.
I'll be collecting data as we go. When did that happen? When did I become the data
know.
guy on the
Become-
show?
But it's going to be weird sitting... Because I am technically sitting next to you now, but we're in a round table, so I can see you very clearly.
Maybe we could do it in the round.
Theatre in the round.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes.
So Jess is at the, front of the audience.
Obviously.
Matt's on a flank and I'm on a flank.
Well, you got to give the people
And,
what they want.
and up the back we have some sort of sound and light show.
I don't mind that idea. I don't mind that idea at all. We just sit in the audience.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just have a chat with our mates. You know, we can probably figure that out in our own time.
Anyway, this was
Probably
a way...
Probably not for the podcast.
way of me bringing up the fact that we are doing the Melbourne Comedy Festival shows next month.
Gross.
4
Yucky.
shows.
Ad alert. Yucky.
Plug. Filthy plug. Shameless. No, go on. Talk about it, please.
Well, I was shameless and now I'm feeling a bit of shame.
No, we need people to come, so you should tell
I'm feeling a
talk
bit of
about it.
fucking shame.
Never.
Hey, it's you two that are going to go broke as well if no one comes.
Oh, that's true.
Please.
Help us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, God.
Anyway, that is on sale now, but we will talk a bit more about all the stuff at the end of the show. But first, we have to do the show, which
Let's
do
I'm
it.
going to say, let's do it.
Yeah, ask the question,
great
Jess.
call.
This is the show where one of us does a report on a topic, and this week it is JP Bop
The
Perkins.
the big bopper.
The Big Bopper's here. Don't you worry.
Thank God.
I know.
We were padding.
You were looking.
Is she here yet? Is she here? Hang on, keep padding. Let's roll another clip from a previous episode.
So this week I have dipped into the golden hat. So for a select group of our Patreon supporters, they get to make a suggestion that we have to pick. We have to. Too bad, so sad. We have to. We're contractually obliged.
Yeah, in many ways, yes. And sometimes it has been too bad, so sad. But we did it. We did it.
We did it. That's right. So this week I've dipped into the hat, and this is going to be quite a fun topic. I will start with a question.
I love a fun topic.
Yeah, what's going to be? Yeah, it's probably there could be backlash. That's also fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Will Matt be the good guy? And will I be
never,
the bad guy?
never.
I'm always the heel, Dave. You know that.
And he's the face.
Yeah.
You listened last week.
I remember things.
A lot of great tweets about the wrestling episodes, so thank you everyone for those.
I think I'm a smart mark now. Is that right?
A smart mark.
Yeah, they're the ones
Oh,
who
shit.
the fans who were someone. Yeah, They're cool people. It turns out we got a lot of Smart Mark fans.
Cool.
Well, let me
Or,
just
say fans made me feel gross.
all right, I'm going to be the guy.
Listeners.
I'm going to be the guy that makes the schmoz, so you don't have to talk about this anymore, Matt.
And
Good
I kept
reference.
saying schmoz, and it
Yeah,
is
you did.
schmoz,
But
isn't it?
We told you it was schmoz, and you
Yeah.
still said
I'm like,
schmoz.
no, I think I understand this one.
Anyway, that was
You
last week.
butchered it.
Go back and
This is
listen
this week.
Let's move on.
to the Montreal Screwjob if you
Do
want to hear
move
more
on.
about that. To move on to this week.
So my question for you, gentlemen, and once again, we've been doing this for 73 weeks. This is 73, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
A very good year.
I should be more prepared and write questions, but recently I just keep forgetting to write them. So I'm padding.
I'd like to think
Padding.
recently, I think if you go back to every episode you've ever hosted.
No, early I wrote them,
Okay, maybe.
and I tried to throw you a bit of a curveball.
Oh, look, I reckon just start a sentence and end it with an upward inflection. Well, let's see what
That's
happens.
just the Australian accent.
Is it? Oh,
That was an actual
that was a
That was a
question.
question. I guess.
That's probably
yeah,
a good
that's
point.
not a bad point.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what is
Good.
the wackiest
Okay.
religion?
Oh wow. Okay, so I once did a comedy festival show with great friends and fellow
Oh, a fellow.
fellows, but
Uh-huh.
also the Fellowship of Planet Broadcasting.
Yes.
Andy Matthews from Two in the Think Tank and
Yeah.
Adam Knox from the Filthy Casuals
Yes.
podcast.
Ah.
We used to do a show called the
Crossover.
World Record Show where we made up world records. Sometimes there'd be like fake records. So we'd pretend we were going to do the record. So we did cheer for the world's worst religion.
Oh, great.
We just put the names of religions on the screen. But people started taking it really seriously.
Of
So we
course.
had to bail like 3 religions in. Because it looked
Wait,
like...
how does it take it? How do you take it seriously?
Because people started like cheering, and I could tell you the ones that people were cheering for. Because
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Go on.
the wacky, well, the one that got the.
Because they've all got their own wackiness.
Totally.
I think some of them it's just about time. Christianity is pretty wacky. It's such an old tradition that it
We kind of accept it.
yeah, and it's pretty
What are you thinking, D-Dubs?
mainstream.
Well, the one that got the biggest cheer, I would say, and the one that people love to laugh at, is Scientology.
Yes, that's what I was.
Correct.
Yes.
So this is a hat. This is a golden hat suggestion from Cameron Weeks. And
Weeksy.
Weeksy.
Camsy.
Camsy.
Oh, he
nah,
doesn't like it
Weeksy.
when
He
you
does
call
not
him
like
that.
it when you call him
He doesn't-
Camsy.
Well, I am the heel of nicknames. Like,
That's true.
you tell me you don't like the nickname, that makes me want to call you it more, mate.
That's true.
Because I've always
He's
thought
the
of that
heel of
as
nicknames.
a bit of a negative. Oh, he's been a bit camsy. Oh, he came on all camsy.
Yeah. But Weeksy,
He came on all Camsy.
Weeksy is
And
strong.
I do not like Camsy.
No.
Right. So, in looking at this topic,
so it is wow.
it's Scientology, but you know how with the Beatles episode we talked about how because it's
How
such an
Paul
enormous
was a Scientologist, allegedly, and then died, allegedly.
because it's such an enormous topic, you could almost just take one little thing and talk about it. Well, I started reading about Scientology and ended up getting so engrossed in one specific like tangent.
Is it the Scion?
Yeah. No, it's the tology.
Oh, good, because that sounds more interesting.
I'm really
than
into the
Scion.
tology. No, I got really, really obsessed with one part of it and ended up basically doing an entire report on this. And I hope that's okay with Cameron Weeks.
Is it Tom Cruise?
It's not Tom Cruise.
Is it Beck
Again, that would be
Hampton?
so fucking fancy. Fascinating is what I was
very
trying to say.
Fancy.
This
Oh.
episode brought to you by Fancy Food. Get it at all good restaurants.
I worked for a catering company that was
Just the
called Fancy
concept of
Foods.
fancy
It was called
food.
Fancy Food.
I'm
There you
pretty sure
go.
it was called Fancy
I
Foods.
just did an ad for a company I didn't know existed seconds earlier.
Yeah,
I
probably
was sure
don't
you were going to say
promote them
fancy
either.
feast. The cat or dog food.
Cat, I think.
Cat.
And
Sponsored by some sort of specific cat food.
Fancy
They
feast.
they said, "Oh, you're talking about a religion where they often go after people that talk about them in the media. We'd like to sponsor that episode."
we're in. Take all of our money.
Oh dear, please don't kill us, Scientology. This is all in good fun.
Are you going to let us know what the specific thing is, or we'll
Yeah.
figure that out as we go?
Well, okay, so for anybody who's not aware, Scientology is a body of religious beliefs and practices that was created in 1954 by American author L. Ron Hubbard. This report is entirely about L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, cool.
Right. And Cameron, like, give me feedback, dude. I'm sorry if you
No,
were
I-
like, I
well,
really want to know specifically
I thought
about
it was
their
going
beliefs.
to be some weird obscure thing. You're doing it about the guy. It's
About
like
the guy
going,
who
I'm not
started-
doing it about Christianity, I'm doing it about Jesus. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, I'm not
No,
going
but-
to. I won't talk about Mark or Matthew.
But I'm not going to talk about, like, Tom Cruise, and I'm not going to talk about some other things.
It might
Do
come
you,
up.
do you
It might.
refuse to mention Tom
No,
Cruise?
it's not that I
Okay.
refuse. It's just that this is sort of the
Well, now
tangent I
that
went
you're
on
an actor.
because so much of this is so funny.
Wait, was the pretty guy in the audition Tom Cruise?
The guy that couldn't act.
Yeah, it was Tom Cruise. Didn't I mention that when I told the story
No,
earlier? That you kept interrupting because you constantly talk over me. Is that? Did I not mention that it was Tom Cruise?
I get excited when you're around. I want to talk
Over
Over
me.
you.
over you.
I want to silence you with my own words.
Is that? And then I have to just sit here and smile politely while you just keep
I just
talking.
wanna-
And sometimes I just continue to finish my sentence because I think maybe he'll hear that I'm talking, but you just keep going like a steamroller. You're just steamrolling over. Yeah? Maddie?
I don't know.
Is this all an act? Because you are a 9 out of 10 actor.
Yeah, that was and scene.
Oh, she's
And
done
I'm
it
back.
again.
Oh, I blacked out. What
Matt-
happened?
Matt's crying.
What
That
happened,
was-
Maddie?
That was a beautiful portrayal of a person who
Who hates Matt Stewart?
really dislikes me and my very essence
And it
of
was
being
just-
an arsehole.
It was just a portrayal.
Oh, it's a betrayal.
It was just a portrayal.
Because at first I thought it was a betrayal.
No.
And
Different. right, so yeah, I'm going to be talking about L. Ron Hubbard.
Great name.
Very good name.
now, Elron,
L.
is it the letter L, the word Ron, or is it E-L, Ron, one word?
It is letter L, full stop, Ron Hubbard.
It's weird
Do
to
you
start a
wanna
name
guess-
with an initial.
Do you want to guess his first initial?
I think I know it.
It's not a common name at all.
Okay. I was going to guess Liam, Luke, Larry, Leonard, Leichhardt, Liechtenstein, Leaping. Leaping Ron Hubbard. Is that it? No, I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
it.
you got it.
High jump champ when he was in year 10.
You think you know it?
I think it's something French.
Oh.
Le Ron Hubbard.
La.
Lafayette.
Yes, very good,
Yes,
Dave.
You should have seen him. He closed his eyes.
Yeah, that was
That was
really
like
dramatic.
his brain sort of hovered above or connected to the cloud,
I had
maybe.
to think about that guy that was in both the Civil War in the US and the French Revolution.
I've already forgotten what it was.
Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Well done, Dave.
And also the Paris department store.
Mm.
And
Good for you. Well done.
is that why he initialized it? Because
No, I think, well, in the way other people speak of him, they do tend to call him Ron a bit.
Ronnie.
But anyway, so after establishing a career as a writer, becoming best known for his science fiction and fantasy stories, he developed a system called Dianetics, which was first put into book form in May of 1950. He then developed his idea into a wide-ranging set of doctrines and practices as part of his new religious movement that he called Scientology. His writings became the guiding text for the Church of Scientology and a number of affiliated organisations. Now, the Church's spreading of these writings led to Hubbard being listed by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most translated and published author in the world. In 2014, he was cited by the Smithsonian Magazine as one of the 100 most significant Americans of all time.
Of all time!
As one of the 11 religious figures on that list. One of the 100 significant Americans of all time.
11 religious figures
Yeah,
out of
wow.
100. What other American religious figures are there?
Don't know.
Martin Luther King, was he a religious figure? Jesse Jones, Jesse James, Jesse Hogan, Jesse
Perkins.
Perkins. Yeah, who's the church guy?
There's,
Jesse Jackson.
Oh my god, stop.
I bet one of these is true.
If you keep saying that.
Statistically, one will be right. You're the stats man.
One of them is a young full forward for the Melbourne Football Club, but the others I reckon could have been a chance.
I'm sure Joseph Smith, the Mormon founder, well, not founder, but the guy that translated Mormon tablets.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it might have been there. Yeah,
Is
I
it-
don't have the list.
Or Kellogg, the cornflakes guy. He was a religious guy.
Was
I
he?
think.
Oh, that
Or
changes
what about the
cornflakes.
Amish guy? Yeah, he was like apparently he was a real Bible basher sort of, and he invented cornflakes. It was for something like to stop kids masturbating.
It worked.
It sure did.
Oh, it's the worst lube
'Cause
you'll
it-
ever come across.
It's very scratchy.
Oh, fuck.
Because before that, a
They
common
were
breakfast
fucking
cereal
Fruit
was...
Loops.
Before that, people used to eat... the teens found it very popular to eat Vaseline for breakfast. And it was just like,
Oh,
you know, every
natural progression.
breakfast table
Vaseline
was
with
a rockin'.
milk?
Yeah.
Ugh. It would separate.
Was that someone eating Vaseline? What are they doing with Vaseline over there?
Oh,
And Kellogg
no.
was like, I'm going to put some cornflakes in that man's mouth.
Why were you doing a hand gesture then? It's a podcast, man. Nobody can see you except me. And I don't feel comfortable now.
Yeah, honestly, Dave, you should pull back.
What about Billy Graham?
Not pull back like that, Dave.
What about Billy Graham?
Who's Billy Graham?
That famous, like,
famous, so far famous.
That famous?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd argue not that famous. If you don't know who he is and you mention him.
he's a Christian evangelist.
Okay.
How do you say that?
Evangelist.
Word? Evangelist.
Here's the thing. We don't have the list, so we can speculate all we like, or we can just go
Phil
on.
Collins.
Phil Collins.
English.
I was listening to Phil Collins today.
Fabulous.
That's great.
Did you feel it coming through the night?
I did. I turned it up really loud because I was home alone. It went do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I was having
He does say, "Oh Lord" in that song.
Oh, Lord.
I was thinking it because, you know, the Genesis song,
Salisbury Hill.
that's the guy from Genesis, right? The other guy.
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel. Is that right?
I don't know.
I was thinking that there's a Genesis... Anyway, we're getting fucking way off
It is
track.
Max. No,
But there was a Genesis song.
You say we're going off track and then you keep talking.
Oh, there you go. Again, just talking over me. All right.
Go on. So what
I'm
were you
gonna make a supercut of you talking over me.
Yeah, you'll be
It's whoever does the report always gets talked over.
you'll be stretched for content on that supercut there, mate.
Stretched. Oh man, you don't even know, do you?
Not with these cornflakes.
I had to last week's episode. I had to edit out
Oh,
one
fuck
time
off.
me trying to start a sentence 4 times and you jumping over it. Okay,
Was I doing it on purpose? To fuck with you?
probably not. No.
Can we save this fight for off air?
Can I just say? Dun, 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 do go on. Boom.
That was very good. Okay, so although many aspects of Hubbard's life story are disputed, there's a general agreement about some of the basics, right? So he was born in Tilden, Nebraska in 1911. I was about to say 1911.
Quite an okay year.
Ooh, interesting.
Hot
Interesting.
new take.
I like that.
Did not want to take
No,
your catchphrase.
I like that. Okay. He spent much of his childhood in Montana, and he travelled in Asia and the South Pacific. You trying to get Matt to say Montana?
Montana.
Sorry, one more.
Montana.
A bit slower.
Montana.
You slowed it down like 8%.
How
I heard
many
the
percentage
difference.
did you want?
I heard the difference though.
50.
50. Okay. Montana. That wasn't quite.
No,
That was
was
like 30.
Montana.
Nailed it. 50 right there.
There it is. Beautiful.
It sounded weird that time.
It did. He travelled a bit in Asia and where, Matt? In
Asia.
But we just don't want to offend, people from different countries, so we want Matt to say it correctly. It's always when people say, like, Canberra, our capital, wrong. So if people Asia...
Canberra.
Asia.
Asia.
Obviously, I can't say it.
Fashion.
I'm offending people, but it's great that, Matt, we've got the official
we've got him.
spokesman.
Asian fashion. Asian fashion. Please go on.
Thank you. So he travelled in Asia and the South Pacific in the late 1920s after his father, an officer in the United States Navy, was posted to the US Naval Base on Guam. He attended George Washington University in Washington, D.C. at the start of the 1930s before dropping out and beginning his career as a prolific writer of pulp fiction stories. I'll talk a bit more about that later as well, though. He served briefly in the United States Marine Corps and was an officer of the United States Navy during World War II, briefly commanding 2 ships. He was removed both times when his superiors found him incapable of command.
Hey, mate, you can't command this one ship. So how about you command 2 ships? Huh? Double the workload. Maybe we'll double your skills.
Incorrect.
No.
Did not work.
Yeah, we need to double the workload, but triple your skills because you couldn't even do the first ship.
Yeah.
Triple it from nothing.
3 times nothing. Look, mate, we haven't done the maths here, but we've lost a lot of soldiers. We need you to take
We are
care
not
of
the
this
stats
stuff.
men. So he's not capable of commanding a ship, but apparently he's capable of starting a religion. Bit more about him. So he studied civil engineering during his 2 years at George Washington University. At sort of like the insistence of his father, who decreed that I should study engineering and mathematics. While he did not graduate from George Washington, his time there subsequently became important because, as someone wrote, many of his researches and published conclusions have been supported by his claims to not only be a graduate engineer, but a member of the first United States course in formal education in what is today called nuclear physics.
Right, but he didn't finish.
No. Scientology accounts say that he studied nuclear physics at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. before he started his studies about the mind, spirit, and life. And Hubbard himself stated that he set out to find out from nuclear physics a knowledge of the physical universe. However, his university records indicate that his exposure to nuclear physics consisted of 1 class in atomic and molecular phenomena, which earned him an F grade.
Is that good?
Oh.
I don't know, Maddie.
F for fabulous.
F for fuck.
That's the second. Yeah, fuck.
Good job.
No good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. F for fuck. You don't need to do the other classes. That was so
Yeah,
good.
done.
Fuck, you're the professor now.
I like how his dad decreed it. It'd be hard to go, Dad, I know you've decreed me to do this, but
Yeah.
I've got other ideas. I think as soon as someone says, I'd strongly suggest, you go, look, sorry. You decree it.
Oh, I'm in. Okay.
Oh, I guess there's no other option.
And
A decree is big.
Yeah.
I've never been decreed anything.
would you...
Decreed get degrees.
Oh, boy. See, that wouldn't make... That's not a commonly known phrase either, because we would say P's get degrees.
Isn't that a commonly known phrase?
Well, I'm thinking like internationally.
No, I thought it was D's get degrees.
Well, that's if
Well,
you want
that's true
distinctions, mate. Yeah. P's are just a pass.
Oh, sorry, D for as in the A, B, C, D, E, F scale.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
true.
You're
They
scraping
probably-
through.
True.
D's get degrees.
But in university, we would say P's get
P's get
degrees because
degrees.
it's a pass.
And
Oh,
also,
I don't think that my
people
university
ate
did
a lot
that.
of P's to get through exam
That's
times.
true. What sort of grading system did you have?
I think it was just A to F.
Oh,
In
interesting.
university. Oh,
Yeah.
you went to like Bovine University or something like that, didn't you?
Bowman University.
What was the motto of your
Did you
university?
not go to a real university?
Did you go to an online university?
No, I went to a real university.
Did you?
Huh.
La Trobe University. I think the, what was the motto? Fiddlius quo fortidlius.
That's
Which,
not real.
which, Jess, if that, you were the Latin expert on it, what was
That's
that?
strength
Fiddle
through
those
something.
titties, I think.
What was it?
Fiddle those titties, I think. That's all in there. All right. Even their motto's not sure of itself.
La Trobe University. Remember, I'm the master on the podcast.
All right, mate.
You got a master's?
Yeah. And I got occasional D's.
You got occasional D's at university. All right, Jess, we don't have to...
Jeez,
What about your classes, though?
Yeah. Distinctions.
oh.
Got a high distinction for a literature class. Didn't read a single book.
Yes, yeah.
It's all about bullshit. And now I do a podcast.
Hey,
I can draw a line, I think, between the two.
Yeah.
we're all doing well.
Man, I'm bullshitting my way through this too. There's nothing on the page. It just says believe in yourself. And a do. It's
working.
Yeah.
Are you doing Luke McGregor gear there?
That was a Luke
Jess?
McGregor joke, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
didn't mean to.
Well,
But I realised after I'd said it, I was like, oh, hang on. Oh, that's a McGregor joke. Sorry, Luke. I assume you're listening.
well, I mean, the numbers pretty much suggest everyone is.
Everyone's listening.
It's weird that we can hit, Dave, how many in the world at the moment?
7.5 billion.
7.5 billion weekly. So, there you go.
The population clock goes up and so do the stats. It's amazing.
It's so-
As they're born,
it's
they
one
listen.
for one.
Yeah.
one
They're
for
given
one.
an iPhone and
subscribe.
the subscription.
Often, as they die, they listen as well.
Yeah.
Makes you think.
It's
It's the first and last thing
Bye,
people hear.
Teresa.
Oh, there she goes.
Teresa.
TikTok, another one gone. Laters, Marcel. Improv, yeah.
But welcome, Kevin.
improv, yeah.
That's always been my mantra.
Your mantra.
Your
That's my mantra. It's written on my wall
Oh,
and the ceiling.
and mine's just believe in yourself. Anyway, so
Sorry, you're again being confused with
oh, that's Luke McGregor. That's right. Yeah, no, I do apologise. So that sort of thing where he has said one thing and the facts say something else. That's going to be a recurring theme through this entire report.
Oh, a theme.
Fuck! I thought maybe I got away with it.
A recurring theme.
Yeah.
There's that theme again. Oh no, the photocopier's down. Just get another theme of paper.
Ah, that was karma because Matt got shitty. Well,
The only
was it
reason I
last
brought
week?
it up, yeah. It was last week.
I was prepared to let it go.
Thank you.
And you
Three.
really banged on about it hard.
I did last time. Was it occurrence?
Yeah.
Occurrence.
Occurrence. Yeah. No.
Well, you said it funny. Anyway, this is going to be a recurring theme.
Oh, interesting.
Through this report. So, he's at university. Scientologists claim that he was more interested in extracurricular activities, particularly writing and flying.
Sounds like banging.
Flying.
Banging.
Extracurricular activity sounds like banging.
Sounds like getting D's
Yeah, getting D's
and degrees.
and not getting degrees.
You didn't do many extracurricular activities at school, did you?
He went to Latrobe. I don't know if they... Did they have any?
Even like high school, like
All I know
musical
about
instruments or
Latrobe
sport.
is it's like a coal-fired power plant.
That's the Latrobe Valley.
That's all I know about it. So you were learning about coal?
Well, yes.
You're at
I went to
at the coal
Deakin.
place.
Nobody knows anything about
Oh,
that
the
place.
Deakin.
Yeah, I went to the D.
Ah,
It's all about the Deakin.
I'm all about the D.
I thought it was about the dean.
Deep
Of
the
Deakin.
Dean. There we go.
You deed the dean.
No. How do you think I passed? Anywho,
Wow. You got to sleep your way all to the top.
yeah, the top to get an arts degree.
Yeah.
I didn't even pass with distinction. I
Yeah.
just got given an
God,
arts
if I
degree.
slept with the dean, I'd want to be like a doctor or something.
Yeah, you'd want a good
Of
degree.
podcasting.
Yeah. Well, I was one
You were nearly there.
session away.
Anyway, so he's interested in he's more interested in other things than his classes.
What were you saying he's actually interested in? Pardon me.
Riding and flying. According
What's that, kite flying? What's
Well,
that?
according to church materials, he earned his wings as a pioneering barnstormer at the dawn of American aviation and was recognized as one of the country's most outstanding pilots. With virtually no training time, he takes up powered flight and barnstorms throughout the Midwest. I don't know what barnstorms are, please don't ask me.
But it's a great term.
His airman certificate, however, this isn't a quote, I was still talking like it was a quote. His actual certifications, however, records that he qualified to fly only gliders rather than powered aircrafts and gave up his certificate when he could no longer afford the renewal fee.
Wow.
Right, so they're like, he's probably one of the best pilots the world has ever seen. And they're like, I don't know, he can sort of move around a glider a bit. You
That's
know?
something. Well, this does sound like a guy has been put on Earth by some sort of
Some sort
greater
of god.
power.
But haven't we all?
And
Yeah.
so he's still got training wheels in the air,
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
and they're like,
Training wings,
He's-
I think.
They're talking him up. Like he's a big dog. But he's a little dog. He's a tiny dog.
he's sounding more and more Kim Jong Il.
Ooh.
Kim Jong fully sick.
A bit of a Kim Jong fully sick. Worth repeating.
Yeah, not my best. Anyway, so he became a well-known and prolific writer for pulp fiction magazines.
Hang on, is this true now? I'm not sure.
This is true.
Okay.
During the 1930s. So again, Scientology texts describe him as becoming well-established as an essayist.
He wrote the Encyclopedia Britannica.
He wrote everything.
He wrote the Bible and then said it was wrong. Sorry, got it wrong.
Even before he'd concluded college, Scientology saying he's already a well-established writer. Scientology claims that he solved his finances and his desire to travel by writing anything that came to hand, and that he earned an astronomical rate of pay for writing. Right? So
I
like,
love a religion that brags about the cash that
Yeah,
their
right.
leaders
Yeah.
bring in.
like he was living very
Just
comfortably
making
indeed.
it rain.
He could afford to stay in a 3-star hotel. He wasn't backpacking. Ooh, we should follow this man.
We should learn from him. So his literary career began with contributions to the George Washington University student newspaper, which was called the University Hatchet, as a reporter for a few months in 1931. So 6 of his pieces were published during 1932 and 1933. The going rate for freelance writers at the time was only a cent a word. So Hubbard's total earnings for these articles would have been less than $100. But
Making
they're
it
like,
rain.
he was comfortable.
Hatchet. The Hatchet. Is that an ironic name? Because that's like that's a negative term. Like a hatchet job on a journalist on a hatchet job is like poor journalism, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
A very interesting question, Matt. Thanks for asking. And we'll.
I don't know, and I have a journalism degree.
Is that not a term? I might be.
I've
making
not
that
heard
up.
it.
Okay, great.
But I never pursued the journalism thing.
Hey, what are you doing right now?
Oh, no! This isn't journalism.
You got in the journalism's back door.
Oh, don't talk about the back
Don't
door.
talk about journalism's back door like
Hang
that.
on. So you got in the dean and then the journalism's back door.
It was a wild time.
Wow.
Heady days.
My university days. I was finding myself
Wow, D gets a grade.
Where were you?
at the D.
At the D. The back door D.
I was at the scratching at the back door. Let me
Let
in.
me in. Dean, let me in. I'm locked out. I left my pants inside.
Oh, dear.
Go away, Jess. Go away. My wife's home.
Okay,
Oh, hang
all
on.
right. What a
All
plot
of a
twist
sudden-
here. It was a young Dean and we were very much in love.
None of the crusty old Deans I've met.
No. No.
The Dean.
The crusty old
He was a young, sexy Dean.
That's one of my favourite ongoing Simpsons jokes where he goes back to college and he hates the dean. He's a cool guy. He's like, hey guys, if you ever want to chill out, play hacky sack or just jam. I used to be the bass player in the Pretenders. That's so funny. He's like that crusty old dean. Oh, Jess, I wish you banged that dean.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I didn't. Okay, so back to Jess banging things. Back to Hubbard.
The dean was a Hubbard. A hubby.
Hubby material. But I wanted to just be free. Oh God.
Elron sounds like
All right.
hubby material because he's
Well-
earning an astronomical amount of money, 100 cents.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, David, because Hubbard's literary earnings helped him to support his new wife,
New.
Margaret Polly Grubb. I don't know where Polly comes
Grubb
from.
is
Grubb is
maybe the best surname.
bloody Grubb.
Grub.
Here, a little
Married
Grubb.
a grub.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh, I can't wait to join the grubs for dinner.
So Polly was already pregnant when they married on the 13th of April, 1933.
Oh, that was kind of him to marry someone else's pregnant girlfriend.
I paused for you to say a good year, but you jumped. That was better.
A good
Pregnancy.
A good deed.
A good deed. A good deed.
A good deed.
A good deed does not go unrewarded
Oh boy.
with an unplanned pregnancy.
But she unfortunately had a miscarriage shortly afterwards, and a few months later she became pregnant again. In 1934, she gave birth to a son who was named Lafayette Ronald Hubbard Jr., and the nickname His Nibs invariably shortened to Nibs.
What?
So I don't know.
His nibs. Is that one word?
Two words. His Nibs. Then they just called him Nibs. I don't know where Nibs comes from, but
Jeez,
I fucking love it.
Nib sounds like a guy who lives in the attic, and you
Nibsy.
feed him a bucket of fish heads. Okay, Nibs.
All right, it's your turn to feed Nibs.
Yeah.
You take what you're given, nibs.
I wonder how many Simpsons references we can squeeze
Yeah,
in
quite a
today.
few. Quite a
I think
few.
we're up to 4.
Um,
Dave, any updates on the Simpsons episode? The pressure is building online.
Yeah,
No,
it's
people
huge.
are really calling for it, which is too much pressure. I can't handle it.
Fuck you. Sorry,
Fuck
said that out
you.
loud.
Just saying what everyone's thinking, Dave.
Fuck you. Anyway, so Hubbard joins the Navy in 1941.
Just like Homer did.
In 1941.
So whatever you said, I was going to try and shoehorn something in.
It kind of worked. Scientology texts say that he returned from the war blinded with injured optic nerves and lame with physical injuries to hip and back, and was twice pronounced dead. However, his medical records state that he was hospitalised with an acute stomach ulcer rather
it.
than a war injury.
It's weird that usually, like, obviously they make up brags about people, but to say that he had a bad back and bad hips and nearly died
Twice.
twice.
I think that's saying war
No, he
hero,
did
but he
die.
did die.
He did
That's his
die.
Lazarus moment.
Maybe the
And,
war,
and he'd gone blind.
the
He had a real
dying thing,
Lazarus
but like
moment.
he had a dodgy hip.
But they're all like biblical miracles, right? Mm-hmm. Giving people their sight back, coming back from the dead, having improved hip flexibility. They were all. I think Jesus gave people all of those.
Yeah, I remember that.
Improving people's calcium bone density.
Remember that time at the Garden of Gethsemane? I can't remember what that
Gethsemane?
when Jesus gave Tiffany improved hip movement.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
And then she was able to perform at the dance concert that night.
Yeah,
and
she
won.
shimmied all the way to the top.
Good for Tiffany.
Yeah, it was one of my favourite chapters of the Bible.
What chapter was that?
2022b.
22B. Jesus
No,
and
2022.
Sorry, 2022B. Jesus and the Babysitters Club go to the disco.
My favourite.
So probably this is probably a little needs to be backdated, but there will be some blasphemy in this episode.
Oh, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
Jesus.
sorry, everybody.
Okay, so in October, in 1945, in October, the Naval Board found that Hubbard was considered physically qualified to perform duty ashore, preferably within the continental United States. So he was discharged from hospital and transferred to inactive duty in 1946. And he resigned from his commission with effect in 1950. The Church of Scientology says he quit because the US Navy attempted to monopolize all his research and force him to work on a project to make man more suggestible. And when he was unwilling, they tried to blackmail him by ordering him back to active duty to perform this function. Having many friends, he was able to instantly resign from the Navy and escape this trap. The Navy said in 1980 that there is no evidence on record of an attempt to recall him to active duty.
I like how they squeezed in, and he had many friends.
Yeah,
very popular.
Heaps of friends. So the research they're talking about there is kind of what leads on to his Dianetics research.
Right, but he thinks that they were trying to make men more suggestible and easy on the eye. Can you suggest these men to any potential young suitors?
Yeah.
What are you saying, Dave?
Hey, do it or I'll blackmail you.
Okay.
All right.
That's my blackmail. Do it or I'll initiate the blackmailing.
You don't even want to hear what I've got on you.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. If I said it to you, you'd die.
Quick.
That would leave me in all sorts of situations.
Heaps,
bad ones.
Heaps of them. So his life underwent a turbulent period immediately after the war. According to his own account, he was abandoned by family and friends as a supposedly hopeless cripple and a probable burden upon them for the rest of my days. His daughter Catherine presented a different version. She said that his wife Polly, so her mother, had refused to uproot their children from their home in Washington to join him in California, and he chose to stay in California alone. Right, so he's kind of separated from his family. At this stage, Polly and he had 2 kids. So in August of 1945, he moved into the Pasadena mansion of John Jack Whiteside Parsons, a leading rocket propulsion researcher at the California Institute of Technology and a founder of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Parson led a double life as an avid occultist, which is like the study of magic, alchemy, astrology, spiritualism.
Not one of those casual occultists. He was avid.
He was avid, but it was a double life.
Avid, but also part-time.
Part-time.
Yeah.
You could only do it on Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays after 6.
And a thelemite. Have you heard of thelemites at all? It's like it's culty. It feels quite culty. It's a
They're the things from the ceiling of the cave.
Stalactites?
Okay, good. You got that. You cut me off at the pass.
Yeah.
They're the things that no, incorrect. A thelemite, the follower of the English ceremonial magician Aleister Crowley, and leader of the lodge of Crowley's magical order, which was Ordo Templi Orientis.
Please translate, Jess.
Order of the Temple of the East, or Order of Oriental Templars. Really weird, right? So
I wonder if that's the Mr. Crowley from the Ozzy Osbourne song, Mr. Crowley.
Probably. He's
Interesting,
English.
yeah. And that would be the kind of thing
you're
you'd sing
thinking of
about.
stalactites.
Sorry, yeah.
And also stalagmites.
And
Once
Magic Mike XXL.
A great film.
Your favourite film, I believe you said off air one time.
What is it? Oh, no, I know what
Magic
it is. It's a movie. I haven't seen it, but I reckon it would be if I had.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saving it.
No, you
I'm
got
saving
it. You
it.
must.
Because I don't want to
Save it for your 40th.
Otherwise, what's left to live for? Now I'll always have it to look forward to. I don't want to see that in my rearview mirror. I just be like, oh, remember that day that I saw that movie that was clearly the best ever?
Yeah, good call.
I don't want to live in that world.
You can't.
And you can't make me.
You mustn't.
And I won't. I don't care what you say.
Oh, I actually know what you mean, because I feel like I wish I could go back having not seen any of the Poirot episodes.
Sure.
When I know who the killer is now.
Murder on the Nile?
Oh, please. Death on the Nile.
Fuck.
You idiots.
I fucked it.
You fucking idiot.
Oh,
God. But there is a murder.
Most foul?
Yes, it is foul. And ingenious.
Chickens?
Oh, what? Yeah. They murder a chicken, eat it, and then a human dies. Food poisoning. It's horrible.
With the protein they gain from the
Salmonella.
chicken,
Yeah.
they summon up the power to stab a guy.
Fascinating.
Right in front of the camera. It was an open and shut case.
And I wish I could go back to the time just before I saw that happen.
So you could relive it, or so you could stop it.
Yeah, I
Stop the murder.
I wish I could go back in time and stop the death on the Nile.
Yeah. Well, I wish you could too, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, innocent people died.
Innocent fictional
Were
characters.
they innocent?
Oh.
Okay, plot twist.
To be honest, absolutely no idea.
No idea. Don't care.
Don't have any care at all.
Nah, I'd like to go on.
Well,
Please
let
do.
me set the scene.
Oh no.
So, Poirot has been invited
Jeff.
to...
You're thinking of stalactites.
Please actually do go on.
Okay. So he's moved into this house, a mansion, and the guy Parsons, so Jack Parsons, he only let rooms in the house to tenants who he specified should be atheists and those of a bohemian disposition. So it's
Matt, we're in.
he's in this. Yeah, you're atheists and bohemians.
hang
Bohemian
on.
Rhapsody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know all the lyrics to that song that hasn't been written yet?
Yes.
Are you an atheist, Dave? It's a
Maybe.
very personal question. Please do go on, Jess. I want to leave the mystery there. I don't want to know.
Nod or shake your head
No,
so
well,
that we
I'm-
know.
I'm closing my eyes. I never want to know.
Well, Dave's also closed his eyes. That's weird.
It's not helping.
And he's also still not doing anything with his head. He's just sitting there with his eyes closed now.
I pray to the stalactites.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Stalactite. May you stalagmite. My dreams come true tonight. Good bless me.
Good bless me.
Good bless me is the best
I
thing
thought
you've
you
ever
were
said.
I thought you were going to sing Stalactite, Baker's Man.
That was the funny twist I put in. I made everyone think I was gonna say that weird thing you said, and then when you thought I was gonna zig, I bloody zagged. Hey, Jess, please do go on. This is going off the rails.
Moved into a house. He befriended Parsons and soon became sexually involved with Parsons' 21-year-old girlfriend, Sarah Betty Northup. No, why does nobody go by their name?
Yeah, what an interesting time.
Sarah's a nice
Jess
name.
Bob Perkins is interesting, isn't it?
Matt Sugar Tits Stewart.
Dave Golden
Dave Warnicky.
Tonsils.
Oh yeah, right.
Have we? I think we've probably mentioned that in our group chat on Facebook. We now have nicknames.
Oh, have we? Yeah.
We've got nicknames
Wait,
on our
do
group
I have a
chat.
nickname?
Yeah, yours is Big Balls.
Because you can't see your
You
own.
can't see your own.
Do I
didn't
have
know
one?
that.
Yeah, you're Golden Tonsils.
Oh, fuck yeah, I am.
And I'm Bop, which makes that's the least offensive.
Big balls.
Like, it's so good when it's just a notification on my phone says Big Balls has messaged Podcast of Dreams. I'm like, that's just a great sentence.
I hope that is sitting on the
Yeah.
like the bar table when you're on a date or something, and they just go, "Oh, okay, interesting little insight there."
He's Big Balls.
And why is he saying something about?
Something about hope the date's going well. Because you would say something like that because you're a very supportive friend.
Yeah, super supportive.
Anyway, so now he is involved with his new friend's girlfriend,
Betty.
Despite this, Parsons was very impressed with Hubbard and reported to Crowley.
Good technique.
This is gross. This is something that he said.
Just very impressed.
Oh no!
This is amazing. So Hubbard is a gentleman. He has red hair, green eyes, is honest and intelligent, and we have become great friends. He moved in with me about 2 months ago, and although Betty and I are still friendly, she has transferred her sexual affection to Ron.
Oh my god, he didn't.
It's fucked, right?
This is starting to sound a little Charles Manson-y.
Yeah. Although he has no formal training in magic with a K, he has an extraordinary amount of experience and understanding in the field. From some of his experiences, I deduced that he is in direct touch with some higher intelligence, possibly his guardian angel. He described his angel as a beautiful winged woman with red hair, whom he calls the Empress, and who has guided him through his life and saved him many times. He is the most thelemic person I've ever met and is in complete accord with our own principles. Are you in love with him?
What was that transaction about the sexual whatever?
Yeah, she has transferred her sexual affection to Ron.
That is the coldest way I've ever heard that
We
described.
are still friendly, but she has transferred her sexual affection elsewhere. Kind regards.
Her sexual affection.
Isn't that weird?
That's something, like a
And
lawyer
he's
saying.
it's like he's fine with it.
Sounds like she's changed banks.
Yeah.
I would not be fine with
She
that.
was on hold for 40 minutes to get that through.
But she did it.
Yeah.
Worth it. It's always worth it.
Finally, that I go, she withdrew her final $1 last week and put it into Ron.
I'm closing my sexual account with you, sir.
How weird is that?
I wish you all the best. You found a lower interest rate.
So on the 10th of August in 1946, Hubbard bigamously married Sarah, while still married to Polly. It wasn't until the next year,
So Sarah Betty?
Betty. Yeah,
Right.
sorry, Betty. It was not until the next year,
can call me Betty.
in 47, that his first wife, learned that he'd remarried. He agreed to divorce Polly in June that year, and the marriage was dissolved shortly afterwards, and Polly was given custody of the children. So I don't think it was estranged from his first two kids for a while. I think he reconnects with his son later. Anyway, so
That's strange. I wonder if that's like that's what the Guns N' Roses song was about.
oh my god, and the Simpsons.
I wonder if he described it as his children had transferred their guardianship over to another dad.
Page 4 of 11, boys. So after
Wow, this guy's a real crazy guy.
after Hubbard's wedding to Betty, they settled in Laguna Beach in California, where
Oh my goodness.
he took a short-term job looking after a friend's yacht. Before resuming his fiction writing to supplement a small disability allowance that he was receiving as a war veteran.
That's awesome. To be on an allowance, which I imagine is quite small, and to be living on a yacht.
I was looking after it. I
He's
don't
like,
know where they're
he's
living.
like Marissa's dad on season 2 of the OC. Is that Laguna Beach? No, that's the OC. Great. Do go on. It's Laguna Beach.
Laguna
that's a
Beach
different
is
show, right?
Yeah, that's a reality show.
God.
Do you think the OC was a reality show?
Wasn't it?
You're thinking of
boy.
Real Housewives of the OC.
Yeah, there you go. Your favourite show.
But that's the one with Sandy Cohen, right? Where he's
Yeah.
a cool surfing
Yeah.
lawyer by day.
Yep.
And by night, it's the same. Only it's darker.
It's not, so he doesn't surf as much.
Doesn't surf.
He just
But he,
has dinner
he
with the fam.
maintains the same identity, I guess.
Oh,
Is that the one?
Do you maintain the same identity day and night?
No.
But Sandy does.
Sandy does. That's the quirky thing about him. That's why the people loved him and found him magnetic to watch. Not my words.
Whose words?
Well, I think they're just old English words that have been around for quite a while.
Can I say?
Yeah.
Can I ask you to? Because if I don't say this, people will tweet in and complain that we didn't say, do go Ron.
Oh,
Oh,
very
very
good.
good,
Very
very
good. I love it when people will point one out later
Yeah,
and we're like,
how
oh,
did
fuck.
How'd you miss it?
Yeah, you missed out on this classic gag.
You were talking about shit for 10 minutes and nobody said poo go on. Like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Ah! Yes, okay, do go Ron. Very good. So he's writing again, and he was working from a trailer in a rundown area of North Hollywood.
He's given up the yacht lifestyle
He
for a
wasn't.
rundown
He
trailer.
wasn't living on the yacht. He was looking after a yacht.
What? So his trailer's parked next to a yacht, and he's just sort of looking.
Who says you can't commute to work, Dave?
a couple of times a
How
day.
did we
he's
get here
looking
tonight,
out.
champ? I don't live in the studio or next door to it, do I? You fucking idiot. I live
Whoa.
on the other side of the city. I drive across.
I don't know. We don't talk outside of the podcast.
That's
I don't
true.
know anything about you.
Well, I think actually kayfabe says that we all live in a bunk bed here.
Yeah, that's right.
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe. Did I say kaybabe? No.
No, you said kayfabe.
Okay, good.
You said it right for the first time because you said it wrong every single time last week.
It was a hard word to remember, but
But you remember it now.
now I've got it. It's
Kayfabe
committed
is that
to
we all
memory.
live here in bunk beds and matching pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
I may have just added that bit. So he sold a number of science fiction stories, and he still sort of remained short of money, and his son, L. Ron Hubbard Jr., testified later that Hubbard was
Big nips.
big old nibs. He testified later that his dad was dependent on his own father and Polly's, his first wife's, parents for money. And his writing, which was paid at a penny per word, never really garnered him more than, say, $10,000 prior to founding Scientology. So he never made a lot of money.
I like
But
Jess's reality that $10,000 isn't a lot of money.
And this is what, the 1950s?
Is that enough?
What? No, but now because I forget that you're in Hollywood now, and that's probably
I'm a 9.
You don't get
I'm a
out of
9
bed.
out of 10 actor.
yeah.
I don't get out of bed for less than $1 million.
Bloody hell, that is a lot of money.
And you won't get out of
just
bed
for
for
getting
it.
out of bed.
Yeah,
What if you got to take a piss?
I won't.
I won $1 million for it.
I won't.
I'm on the phone to my agent. I'm busting.
Yeah.
You gotta get
in
me
there.
a deal.
Get me in there.
I just want to go to the kitchen to get some breakfast. $1 million transferred in the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Otherwise,
And then I play Candy Crush until look at the little notifications like, dude, you got $1 million. I'm like, all right, well, now I can start my day.
all right, I'm gonna go masturbate with cornflakes.
That's how I start my day.
Don't have to leave the bed for that.
Oh, I
The
gotta get the
cornflakes are in the
cornflakes.
kitchen, mate.
Yeah, I gotta go get them.
Grow up, Dave.
Keep it in my bedside drawer.
Oh, you would, you perv.
That is very pervy, Dave.
Yeah, that's so Warnocky.
Yeah.
Keep cornflakes.
Come on, mate. Keep your sex stuff in the kitchen like everyone else. Keep it in the pantry. That's what I always say.
Keep it in
Keep it in the pants. Keep it in the pantry.
He does always say that.
Yeah.
In the bedroom. Keep it above the belt.
Above the butt.
Above the belt.
You definitely said above the butt.
In the kitchen. Below the butt.
Below the butt.
No butt stuff outside of the kitchen.
Where do you? Well, I mean, it's below the butt or above. Where's the butt? When does butt come in? What room is that?
Halfway between the kitchen and my bed.
So,
Okay.
okay, in
Which
my
is the
house,
bathroom.
that's like a hallway.
Yeah, that's the butt zone.
That's the butt. It's the butt zone. This lovely property has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 1 butt zone.
Oh, we were really looking for a 2-butt zone house, but I suppose we could renovate.
Well, they are thinking of putting a butt zone out the back.
Oh,
They have the zoning permits.
oh, very
Council has
good.
approved.
How big a butt zone?
Unconditionally, it will be a 6 square metre butt zone.
Oh,
Square
perfect.
metre.
2 stories.
Yeah, I think.
2-story butt zone.
Darling, do you think?
Oh, honey, we must.
Yes, we'll take it.
We'll take it.
Thank you. Would you like to celebrate in the butt zone with me? With the traditional butt zone ceremony.
I can't fully picture what's happening in the butt zone.
That's what I'm going to say on my date. Would you like to celebrate in the butt zone
I
with me?
will message you. So you get a message from Big Balls.
Big Balls podcast
Oh,
of dreams.
Big Balls. Sorry, just got to take this. Big Balls just letting me know. Yeah, at least celebrating the butt zone, and we're welcome to come. Oh no.
Okay,
Jess, please do go
I've
on.
got a lot more to go.
Good.
So he's saying that he's supporting himself with writing, but other people are suggesting not the case. He repeatedly wrote to the Veterans Administration, the VA, asking for an increase in his war pension. In October of 1947, he wrote, this is a quote, after trying and failing for 2 years to regain my equilibrium in civil life, I'm utterly unable to approach anything like my own competence. Anyway, it's probably all a bit sad and a bit weird, but he's basically saying like, they kind of said I should maybe see a psychologist, but I didn't, and I was a bit proud, and now it's like I've got to deal with some stuff, and I'm still not up to working, so can I have more money? And they gave him more money, but his money problems still continued. In 1948, he was arrested in California and subsequently pleaded guilty to a charge of petty theft, for which he was ordered to pay a $25 fine.
Oh, the cycle continues.
I would thieve if all I had to do was pay $25
Yeah.
if I got caught.
He got caught stealing $30.
So
So you're still $5
Still
up.
up, still up.
This is awesome.
it's pretty good.
Petty thief stole the petty. And back then, petty meant $30.
30, slang term. That was the style at the time.
What's that, 6? Simpsons count.
Now, again, according to the Church of Scientology, around this time, he accepted an appointment as a special police officer with the Los Angeles Police Department and used the position to study society's criminal elements, and also worked with neurotics from the Hollywood's film community.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, but I never worked with him.
Great.
But so he's just got a job with the police.
Yeah, well, that's what Scientology
Oh,
is
sorry, I
saying.
missed that little right.
Oh, you missed the start of the sentence?
But in reality, what's the reality?
Reality is, no, He didn't do anything.
The reality is, he's still in the trailer.
Wait, so you're believing what? Your sources at the Encyclopedia Britannica or some shit over a holy text? The Scientology.com.org.
Whose side are you on?
Well,
You're never sure, are you?
No.
No.
I'm a flipper, I'm a flopper.
Yeah. You are.
I'm a big fan of the bopper. That's if you'd let me finish.
I loved that rhyme more than anything ever. I'm a flipper, I'm a flopper. I'm the big fan of the bopper.
That's on my tombstone.
That's great.
Turning over my grave. Flipping and flopping.
Flipping and flopping.
Still
bopping.
bopping.
Still bopping.
That's weird. In late 48, he and his wife moved to Savannah in Georgia. Again, Scientology sources say that he volunteered his time in hospitals and mental wards, saving the lives of patients with his counselling techniques.
What a great guy.
It does sound good.
Hubbard began to make the first public mentions of what was to become Dianetics. So he wrote in January 1949 that he was working on a book of psychology about the cause and cure of nervous tension, which he was going to call the Dark Sword, Excalibur, or Science of the Mind. I like the Dark Sword, Excalibur.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a evil thing.
Excalibur is fun to say. Have a go.
Excalibur.
Very good. Dave?
Excalibur.
Better when Matt did it. Yeah.
Wow. You said it in a disappointed way, though? Huh. Better than Matt said it.
In April of 1949, Hubbard wrote to several professional organisations to offer his research. None were interested. So he turned to his editor, John W. Campbell, who was more receptive due to a long-standing fascination with fringe psychologies and psychic powers. So he's like, yeah, okay, this sounds interesting.
Psychology of the fringe. The front bit of your haircut. Thank you.
He's really into it. Bangs, Americans would call it.
That would have been way more efficient than the front bit of your haircut. All right, look. Future Jess, just cut out everything I've said today, please.
And Future Jess, leave it all in. So Campbell invited Hubbard and Betty to move into a cottage at Bay Head, New Jersey, not far from his own home. And in 1949, Campbell recruited an acquaintance, Dr. Joseph Winter, to help develop Hubbard's new theory of Dianetics.
Jersey. What's your Jersey accent like, Dave?
New Jersey!
He didn't even hesitate. He didn't even think about it. He was taking a sip from his water, and he was just like, I'm in.
I don't even know what it is. What is that? Is that right? New Jersey. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's a little Schonbergy.
It is.
Oh, he's a Jerseyan.
You know it.
Sydney. I miss him every day.
Yeah. He's still alive.
What? Why hasn't he called?
Every now and then someone tweets us saying he's mistakenly died. Or died. Mistakenly. The tweet.
He didn't mean to.
He hasn't mistakenly died. He hasn't...
whoopsies.
Oh, no, he fell into a bin.
And died.
Again. Yeah,
that's not fatal, Dave.
He couldn't get out.
He couldn't get out.
It's a really big bin. hey, someone turned on the lights in here. Oh my God, it smells like trash. Hey, that is trash. Hey, is that cornflakes? Oh, I can pass the time.
And then he had a wank.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's a subtext, Jess. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'm not good with subtext.
Do go on.
So Campbell told Winter, so these are the two guys working with him, with cooperation from institutions, some psychiatrists, Hubbard has worked on all types of cases. Institutionalized schizophrenics, manics, depressives, perverts, stutterers, because they're the same. In all, nearly 1,000 cases. But just a brief sampling of each type. He doesn't have proper statistics in the usual sense, but he has one statistic. He's cured every patient he worked with. He's cured ulcers, arthritis, asthma. The pervy ones.
The pervy stutterers. I'm horny.
What would it sound like if they also had asthma?
I'm horny.
Such an unfortunate combination.
But he's cured them.
Yeah.
Now they're not horny. Or asthmatic.
Hey, I'm just fine. I feel I'm level-headed. Nice
Hi.
to meet you. How do you do?
How do you do? Top of the morning.
Oh God, I can't believe this is the same guy.
He's cured. So he collaborated with Campbell and Winter to refine his techniques, and he tested them on science fiction fans recruited by Campbell. The basic principle of Dianetics was that the brain recorded every experience and event in a person's life, even when unconscious. So bad or painful experiences were stored as what he called engrams. In a reactive mind. These could be triggered later in life, causing emotional and physical problems. By carrying out a process he called auditing, a person could be regressed through his engrams to re-experience past experiences. This enabled engrams to be cleared. The subject, who would now be in the state of clear, would have a perfect functioning mind with an improved IQ and photographic memory.
Wow.
Just as a little side thing.
That's a bonus.
I know. The clear would be cured of physical ailments ranging from poor eyesight to the common cold, which Hubbard asserted were purely psychosomatic. You're blind, it's all in your head.
Just see, mate.
Just see.
Just look.
Just let yourself see.
Have a go.
Have a go. Come on, believe in yourself.
That's because, like, I used to be blind, and then I'm like, nah, I'm going to see
I don't want to
now.
be blind.
Yeah, no, not for me.
It was all in my head.
Yeah.
And now, 20/20 vision.
Now I see out my fingers.
Give us a look at your face.
Oh, that's a close-up. I can see your beard.
Dave's...
Oh, that's weird. Oh, cornflakes.
Gee,
In the beard.
He found some cornflakes in the beard, and it brought back some memories.
wowzers.
Because the
A lot was
mind,
going on there.
the mind remembers everything,
It does.
even when asleep, even when swanking.
It remembers it all.
That's the kind. If someone said all that stuff to me in a really relaxed and like a bit of firm sort of tone in a building, and I was a bit lonely, and there was someone going, yeah, you know what we'll do is we'll take you to the, you know, when people talk like that, and that sort of calm but very authoritative. Well, I'd be like, okay, let's do it. I'm in, and then I would have
Joined a cult.
and I would have been a Hollywood A-lister.
You definitely would have joined a cult.
I reckon.
Yeah, you're too keen. You say the phrase, I'm in, a lot.
I'm in.
I'm in.
He
I'm into that.
does. He does say that a lot.
I'm a yes man.
You are a yes man.
Genuinely, at certain times, I'd join a cult.
Yeah. I reckon you would.
I reckon.
I'll try to protect you from that because I'm very skeptical.
I'm super skeptical as well. I'm a real roller coaster
Oh
of
yeah,
emotions.
you're a bag of tricks.
Hey, you
Bag of dicks, please.
do go run.
Winter submitted a paper on Dianetics to the Journal of the American Medical Association and the American Journal of Psychiatry, but both journals rejected it.
Oh,
They said,
they don't just do. They don't have an.
They don't just take
They
anybody's
don't have an open
an open mic.
a letters section.
letters to the editor.
I've got a theory. So Hubbard and his collaborators decided to announce Dianetics in Campbell's Astounding Science Fiction instead. In an editorial, Campbell said, "Its power is almost unbelievable. It proves the mind not only can, but does rule the body completely. Following the sharply defined basic laws set forth, physical ills such as ulcers, asthma, and arthritis can be cured, as can all other psychosomatic ills."
Oh, this sounds. I mean, I was kind of like, it's a bit of fun, but now it's sounding a bit dangerous.
It's only going to get worse.
You're sick. It's your fault.
It's only going to get worse.
Think better.
Yeah,
That's
we can fix your brain.
That's getting a bit dicey. Everything you've said before has been
Totally
okay.
fine. A Hubbard Dianetics Research Foundation was established in April 1950 in Elizabeth, New Jersey, with Hubbard, Betty, Winter, and Campbell on the board of directors. Hubbard called Dianetics a milestone for man, comparable to his discovery of fire and superior to his invention of the wheel and the arch.
So, L. Ron is claiming to have invented those three things.
No, he's just saying it's better than that.
All right, I was like, this is a great invention, better than my previous inventions.
Yeah, no.
You got fire, the wheel, and the arch.
This is better.
Would you put the arch up there
No,
with fire
that's
on
what
the
I
wheel?
thought was weird.
He's been watching Play School or something. He's like, all right, here's the three windows. We got the circle. It's like a wheel. We got the square.
Yep.
Obviously fire.
The fire pit.
And the arch. Ah, now what could the arch be?
That's what he's doing.
Oh.
So Dianetics was an immediate commercial success, and it sparked a nationwide cult of incredible proportions. By August of 1950, Hubbard's book had sold 55,000 copies, was selling at a rate of 4,000 a week, and was being translated into French, German, and Japanese. 500 Dianetics auditing groups had been set up across the United States.
Wow. So it took off.
Yeah.
Even though people would have read about it in a magazine that has fiction in the title.
Yep. So it was poorly received by the press.
Also science. So,
Focus on the science.
Yeah, focus on science. So Dianetics, it was quite poorly received by the press and the scientific and medical professions. The American Psychological Association criticised Hubbard's claims as not supported by empirical evidence. Scientific American said that Hubbard's book contained more promises and less evidence per page than any publication since the invention of printing.
Oh, that's
Such a good review.
a great review.
I love
you just
that.
take that out of context. More promises per page. ...
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
on the poster.
Than any other publication since the invention of printing.
Like promises are good?
Yeah.
Oh, I love promises.
Oh.
Great. Wow.
Per page.
And then one day we'll make you a really nice sandwich.
Ooh,
Can I just
okay.
ask your new book? What's the PPP? Promises per page. Is it
We
small?
offer 500 promises per page.
Wow, 500
That is
PPP.
quite a lot
That's
of
a lot of
promises.
promises. It's just a list of promises
Yeah.
in that book.
In very
Even-
small font.
I
Yeah.
promise this. That's what it is. The New Republic called it a bold and immodest mixture of complete nonsense and perfectly reasonable common sense taken from long acknowledged findings and disguised and distorted by a crazy, newly invented terminology. That's great. Some of Hubbard's fellow science fiction writers also criticised it. Isaac Asimov considered it gibberish, while Jack Williamson called it a lunatic revision of Freudian psychology.
How interesting.
I
So
love
even
it.
at the time, it's always
People
sort
were
of
like,
been,
bullshit.
been seen as a bit silly.
Yeah.
Although you are reading I think our Scientologist listeners would say that you're reading a very biased report.
How dare you? I try to be balanced in everything I do.
Obviously, later in the show, you're going to do the pro Scientology.
Of course
stuff.
I am.
Yep.
You've got to present both sides.
You do.
That's what we were taught. That's what we were taught in journalism school.
Turt in journalism school. I didn't know you studied in Germany.
Yeah, I did. Why?
German
did exchange.
broken German.
Did some
Kind of.
exchange.
Broken English.
Broken journal.
Broken journal.
Were you going to say something?
The thing about journalism. I thought your impression sounded Irish.
The thing about...
The thing about journalism. We were taught at this school.
What is that?
I can only say ting and taught. No more questions.
Cathedral.
Who's this? Is this Michael Caine?
Oh, Michael Caine.
Oh,
The
no.
thing about it is, I'm Michael Caine.
The thing about my Michael Caine impression. Please do good.
Thank you. Although Dianetics was not cheap, a great many people were nonetheless willing to pay. Financial controls were lax. Hubbard himself withdrew large sums with no explanation of what he was doing with it
From his business.
from his business. On one occasion, he was seen taking a lump sum of $56,000 out of the Los Angeles Foundation's proceeds. One of Hubbard's employees, Helen O'Brien, commented that the Elizabeth, New Jersey branch of the foundation, at that branch, the books showed that the month's income was $90,000, but only $20,000 were accounted for. So he's just withdrawing. Obviously, for the sake of the business, guys. What are you assuming?
Well, I assume he's taking that money and saving lives with it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. With his Dianetics.
Yeah. I'm just buying some more Dianetics for the poor.
Yeah, everybody needs them.
I bought $20,000 worth of Dianetics and I gave it to that guy over there. My business partner who's just... Yeah. Yeah, the one's sitting on a gold throne, yeah. Him.
Yeah, he needed it.
He needed it.
He needed it.
And he was...
And I'm here to help.
He was going to die. He was... The antidote for his sickness was gold throne.
And look at him.
Look at him now.
Look at him living.
Look how alive he is.
He's cured.
He's got a case of the alives
Yeah.
over there. Anyway, so Hubbard played a very active role in the Dianetics boom. He was writing, lecturing, and training auditors. Many of those who knew him spoke of being impressed by his personal charisma.
He must be charismatic.
Yeah.
I've got to say that.
Like
He
all
must
cult
be.
leaders. Jack Horner became a Dianetics auditor in 1950. Later said, he was very impressive, dedicated, and amusing. The man had tremendous charisma. You just wanted to hear every word he had to say and listen for any pearl of wisdom.
Just
Much like Matt.
I was about to say, just stop describing Matt. Go back to Elron.
He had... L. Ron has red hair and green eyes.
Matt has red hair and
blue eyes.
I'm sorry, I'm the second coming.
You are
Of Elron.
charismatic, and I just want to hear every pearl of wisdom out of
Okay.
that beautiful hairy mouth.
Okay.
You were also seen stealing $50,000 from this podcast.
Yeah, we didn't even have that much money.
Yeah.
No, we're in a lot of debt.
Yeah, oh shit.
Oh,
Sorry, I meant to bring that up. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble.
Anyway, so Hubbard's supporters soon began to have doubts about Dianetics. Even Winter became disillusioned. Disillusioned?
You didn't get much of that right. Disillusion.
Disillusioned.
Okay, nailed it.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh, no.
Fuck off, Matt.
I'm the heel.
Just little Dave in the corner. You nailed it. You're doing so well. I love you. That's the subtext. So Winter wrote that he had never seen a single convincing clear, as in curing someone.
Didn't this guy say that everyone was clear a second ago?
Yeah. No, that was Campbell who was telling Winter, and now Winter was like, I'm on, but now he's kind of like, oh, hang on. So then he said, I've seen some individuals who are supposed to have been clear, but their behaviour does not conform to the definition of the state. Moreover, an individual supposed to have been clear has undergone a relapse into conduct which suggests psychosis. So basically it was like, hang on a second, maybe this isn't actually working. Dianetics lost a lot of public credibility in August of 1950 when a presentation by Hubbard before an audience of 6,000 people in Los Angeles failed disastrously.
Oh, boy.
What happened?
What happened was he introduced a clear named Sonia Bianca and told the audience that as a result of undergoing Dianetic therapy, she now possessed perfect recall. However,
Oh, no.
in the demonstration that followed, she failed to remember a single formula in physics, the subject in which she was majoring, or the colour of Hubbard's tie when his back was turned.
Simpsons again?
I'm not really wearing a tie at all. A red and white striped tie in a Windsor nut.
That is so embarrassing.
And at that
Well,
point...
forget that science stuff. Forget that. Let's start with something simpler. What colour tie am I wearing, everyone?
She'll get this.
It's blue. Okay, what colour tie? Sophie, what colour tie am I wearing?
Grey?
Oh, fuck.
It's a blue grey. It is a blue.
How would you wrap it up? Anyway,
You'd run to
You
your
just shoot
helicopter
her.
and. Sorry, this one didn't. This one didn't take.
cut it loose.
At that point, a large part of the audience got up and left.
Did he start shooting everyone there?
Yeah.
I'm afraid you
Man.
will all have to die.
You would. It'd be hard to. Would you leave then, or would you be like, "Oh shit, what's happening next? This is about to go off."
Oh,
Yeah,
man, I
no.
could not
But he
look
was
away.
so charismatic. Like that kind of guy probably could still like hold some people. Like he
Yeah.
keeps it. Obviously, there are. There are some issues today.
Yeah, for sure.
She fucked it. This isn't us.
You know what? Like, we can help you, but you have to want to be
Yeah,
helped.
you gotta want it. And
She didn't want it.
She didn't want it enough.
Yeah.
Sophie has clearly committed a lot
Sonia.
of crimes when she was asleep, so her brain is like fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm giving up on her. I've
Only-
never given up on someone before, but
Yeah.
she is the opposite of clear. She is opaque inside that mind.
We'll only work with good people. Sophie is a bad person.
Her name's not Sophie. You've both just gone for Sophie.
I started.
My
it.
memory is also being clouded. I couldn't remember the woman's. Imagine that. Sophie, what colour's my tie? My name's Sonia. Oh,
She doesn't even remember her name.
Just sweat
She's
beating on
broken.
Elron's face. Is just like he'd be drenched in sweat, and his hair starts to look like devil's horns. Flames superimposed.
Simpsons again.
The collapse of Hubbard's marriage to Betty also created yet more problems. He'd begun an affair with his 20-year-old...
In the marriage.
In the marriage. In life. He'd begun an affair with his 20-year-old public relations assistant,
Jeez, they're all about 20, aren't they, when they start?
while Sarah had also started a relationship with one of the Dianetics auditors, Miles Hollister. Now, Hubbard secretly denounced the couple to the FBI in March of 1951, portraying them in a letter as communist infiltrators. According to Hubbard, Betty was currently intimate with communists, but evidently under coercion. Drug addiction set in fall 1950. Nothing of this was known to me until a few weeks ago. So he's just accusing her of all this stuff.
So she's been a bit red this whole time, and he's just realised.
Oh, no.
So he sent it to them like, these guys are dangerous. And the FBI did not take him seriously.
Like, wait, so are you L. Ron Hubbard?
The batshit crazy guy. Yeah, thanks for your letter.
We heard about your tie.
Well,
But I don't get it. Like, everything you're saying makes him sound like he's quite clearly. It's so obvious to everyone that he's sort of a very confident shyster, right? But why are, like, some of the top Hollywood stars, how do they get in there?
I don't know. Well, I mean, a lot of them start as children. That's the thing.
I think nearly everyone starts as children, Jess. Well, babies more accurately, but...
Matt, what's my face? I'm not going to say what I'm thinking, and I think you know. What's this face saying?
In how many words?
5.
Hey, mate. Good to see. Oh, it's just thinking about how good sight is.
That's true.
Cop that, Elrond.
I imagine 2 of the words would mean fuck off, get fucked, sucker fuck,
You're a...
mother fucking gun.
Piece of shit.
Piece
There it
of
is.
shit.
You're a piece of shit.
I've never heard of that phrase.
We say it to each other constantly.
Shut up, you piece of shit.
Right, so actually, an FBI agent annotated, like, on this letter that Hubbard had sent to them, he sort of made a note. It just says, appears mental. So that's good.
He got an F.
Bit mental.
He's a bit
So he got
mental.
marked by the FBI guy and got an F on his letter to the FBI.
Yep.
That is old school language.
pretty
FBI.
great.
Bit mental.
3 weeks later, Hubbard and 2 Foundation staff seized Betty and their 2-year-old daughter, Alexis, and forcibly took them to San Bernardino in California, where he attempted unsuccessfully to find a doctor to examine her and declare her insane. Did I say Sarah then? That's her name, but
Betty.
Betty.
You've
Same lady.
been switching.
I know, sorry. He let it go, but he took Alexis, their daughter, to Cuba. Betty eventually filed for a divorce that accused him of marrying her bigamously and subjecting her to sleep deprivation, beating, strangulation, kidnapping,
Oh, no.
like awful things, right? The case led to the newspaper headlines such as, Ron Hubbard insane, says his wife. Great
In
headline.
tiny text, says his wife.
Great headline. Betty finally secured the return of her daughter in 1951 by agreeing to a settlement with her husband in which she signed a statement written by him declaring, "The things I have said about L. Ron Hubbard in courts and the public prints have been grossly exaggerated or entirely false. I have not at any time believed otherwise than that L. Ron Hubbard is a fine and brilliant man."
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
Written in someone else's handwriting, signed by me.
Yeah, quite
Sounds-
literally written by him.
Is this the Grub one? This all does sound a little grubby.
No, Grub was the first wife.
Oh, Grub's gone.
Grub's gone. She's long gone. Probably.
Lucky Grub.
Yeah, lucky. What a lucky Grub.
What a lucky Grub.
Dianetics appeared to be on the edge of total collapse, right? So they're losing a lot of.
So it's not called Scientology yet.
Not yet. Still Dianetics.
So it's not even a religion yet.
Not a
now
religion.
It's a what do you call it? A faux science.
Affiance.
A science.
Yeah, it's like a It's a I guess just calling it a faux
There's
science.
a term for that. I can't think of what it is.
Bullshit?
Bullshit. That's it.
It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
For weak people. That's what it is.
Oh, don't blame the people.
No, blame them. So
Ah,
it's
fair
on the
point.
edge of collapse. It was saved by a guy called Don Purcell. He was a millionaire businessman, and he was quite into the Dianetics as well. And he agreed to support a new foundation in Kansas. So their collaboration ended after less than a year when they fell out over the future direction of Dianetics. So they disagreed on that. Didn't last very long. The Wichita Foundation that Don was involved with became financially non-viable after a court ruled that it was liable for the unpaid debts of its defunct predecessor in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So that meant that Purcell and the other directors of that foundation filed for voluntary bankruptcy in Feb of 1952. So they got involved, then had to file
Pay someone else's bill.
for bankruptcy.
Oh no.
Hubbard resigned immediately and accused Purcell of having been bribed by the American Medical Association to destroy Dianetics. He established a Hubbard
Big
College
Pharma.
on the other side of town where he continued to promote Dianetics while fighting Purcell in the courts over the foundation's intellectual property. It's just such a mess. Only 6 weeks after setting up the Hubbard College and marrying a staff member,
Who was 20.
18-year-old Mary Sue Whipp.
Soon to be 20.
He's thought, look, I keep marrying these 20-year-olds, but soon after they're not 20 anymore. What if I do? There's an idea.
Get in a bit earlier.
Yeah. Then you got a whole couple of years before you...
You get the full year of 20 if you marry them before January 1st. That's if they're born on that date. I've just realised. They turn 20 by December 31st. You get a new one.
That seems reasonable.
I think that's fair.
I've always said that. That's my dating regime.
Yeah. That's your dating regime. That's your mantra.
Find someone born on January 1st.
Yeah.
Date them.
January 31st, out you go.
Date them and ditch them.
January 31st.
Yeah.
So 30 days later. 30-day money-back guarantee on my next boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's fair.
It works. So 6 weeks after he set up this college, he closed it down and moved with his new bride to Phoenix, Arizona. He established...
Is he trying to live in all 50 states?
He's trying. He's working his way. He established a Hubbard Association of Scientologists International to promote his new Science of Certainty, Scientology. Here it is, baby.
Is that the catchphrase?
Yeah, here it is, baby.
Here it is, baby.
That's how I would present it to babies.
The Church of
Here it is, baby. Hands them a piece of paper with a pamphlet.
The Church of Scientology attributes its genesis to Hubbard's discovery of a new line of research, that man is most fundamentally a spiritual being. Non-Scientologist writers have suggested alternative motives, that he aimed to reassert control over his creation, that he believed he was about to lose control of Dianetics, or that he wanted to ensure he would be able to stay in business even if the courts eventually awarded control of Dianetics to Don Purcell. So he's like kind of starting something different, but it's basically the same thing.
Rebrand.
Yeah.
Like when I call this podcast Do Go Ron.
Exactly. It's the same, but it's different. Now, I won't go into too much detail about like the background and the beliefs of Scientology, because as an outsider, it's very difficult to understand any religion. Like, I went through Catholic primary school and high school, and if you asked me to talk talk on the podcast about Christianity or Catholicism, I'd be like, okay, so you got God, and he's got...
Think of it like a 3-leaf clover.
Think of it like a trinity.
Mm-hmm.
That they mentioned that a bit.
It's kind of like this podcast. This is blasphemy for sure. But so
Father,
Do Go On is
Son, Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit. Okay, so we're
I was the son.
We're both three, but we're also one podcast all at once.
Yeah.
You see? Do you understand?
And we're
now?
omnipresent.
Yep.
Scientology was organised in a very different way from the Dianetics movement. So the Hubbard Association of Scientologists was the only official Scientology organisation. Training procedures and doctrines were standardised and promoted through their publications, and administrators and auditors were not permitted to deviate from Hubbard's approach. So they had branches, sort of like franchises, like a fast food restaurant. They had people... Franchise holders were required to pay 10% of income to Hubbard's central organisation.
It's not too bad.
They were expected to find new recruits, known as raw meat, gross, and were restricted to providing only basic services. The more costly, high-level auditing was only provided by Hubbard's central organisation. So it's sort of like a sub-branch.
Yeah.
So I'll check your oil, but I won't change your transmission.
There we go. Wow, Dave, what a manly kind of... response from you.
I went there.
Name some other car things.
Spanner.
Monkey wrench for our American listeners, I believe. It's funny that he was thinking about it in those terms, because I was thinking about it like a Tupperware lady.
Oh, interesting.
You
Okay.
go around like is that like how that works?
Great. Yeah, okay.
And they go around, they have little parties.
She
and
works
that's it.
for them.
Yeah.
She represents them. She can
But
sell...
she runs her own gig.
Yeah.
I say Tupperware lady, could be Tupperware
any
fella.
kind of those.
Any kind of human. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get makeup ones that'll come to your house.
Avis lady.
Avis lady. Thank you. I couldn't think of it.
Or
Avon.
man. Avon. Avis
is a car rental. Avon lady.
Avis.
Door to door.
Door to door.
Would you like to rent a car today?
No, I'm good. Carry on then.
No, I live here, and
You can see my car is right there. Oh,
Okay.
all
but
right.
this car's worse than yours,
And
and it's only $65
yeah,
a day.
I'm going to charge you quite a bit. And then, when you bring it back, I'm going to say there's a dent on it that wasn't there before.
I'm listening.
I'm in. Although this model would eventually be extremely successful, Scientology was a very small-scale movement at first. Hubbard started off with only a few dozen followers. Generally, they were dedicated Dianeticists.
Well, I mean, any religion, when you think about it, had to start with just a few, didn't it?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, they all started with just which is crazy when you think about some of the major ones where it's like, a quarter of the people in the entire world now believe that.
Yeah,
someone's
that's pretty
idea.
amazing, isn't
Just someone's idea.
it? He was joined in Phoenix by his now 18-year-old son, Nibs, who...
Nibs, you've come of age.
Can we call him Nibbler?
little Nibs. Nibbler. Nibs was unable to settle down in high
think that's a
school,
no.
apparently. And he decided to become a Scientologist, and he moved into his father's home and went on to become a Scientology staff member and a professor
Of
Scientology. Hubbard also travelled to the United Kingdom to establish his control over a Dianetics group in London. In 1953, he acquired a doctorate. This is so good. He acquired a doctorate from the unaccredited Sequoia University. According to a Scientology biography, this was given in recognition of his outstanding work on Dianetics and as an inspiration to the many people who had been inspired by him to take up advanced studies in this field. The British government concluded in the 70s that Sequoia University was a degree mill operated by Joseph Hoff, a Los Angeles chiropractor. There was a telegram sent by Hubbard in 1953 in which he instructed Scientologist Richard DeMille to procure him a PhD from Hoff urgently, and it's all in capitals. It says, "For gosh sakes, expedite. Work here utterly dependent on it." Hoff's university was closed down by the Californian authorities in 1971. British government officials noted in a report written in 1977, "It has not and never had any authority whatsoever to issue diplomas or degrees, and the dean is sought by authorities for questioning."
Oh, that crusty old dean.
You know what the questions are? Take your pants off, please. That wasn't even a question.
In the butts.
Take your pants. You know what the questions were? Take your pants off, please. It's not. Firstly, it's not questions
No.
or question.
No,
But I think I nailed it.
good job.
That's why he was arrested.
Improv.
Improv.
Masa.
People started to question his accreditation as a dean when he couldn't say a question. Don't you have an English doctorate? Take your pants off, please. I'm the dean around here.
So a few weeks after becoming doctor, he wrote to Helen O'Brien, who had taken over the day-to-day management of Scientology in the United States, and he proposed that Scientology should be transformed into a religion. O'Brien was not enthusiastic and resigned the following September, saying she was worn out by work. She criticised Hubbard for creating a temperate zone voodoo, a mindless group euphoria. He nonetheless pressed ahead, and on December 18, 1953, he incorporated the Church of Scientology, Church of American Science, and Church of Spiritual Engineering in Camden, New Jersey. Hubbard, his wife Mary Sue, and his secretary John Galusha, great name, became the trustees of all three corporations. Hubbard later denied founding the Church of Scientology, and to this day, Scientologists maintain that the founding church was actually the Church of Scientology in California, which was established in 1954 by Scientologist Burton Farber. So,
Why?
I don't know.
He doesn't want credit for it. That's interesting.
Yeah. Scientology franchises became churches of Scientology, and some auditors began dressing as clergymen, complete with clerical collars. If they were arrested in the course of their activities, Hubbard advised they should sue for massive damages for molesting a man of God going about his business.
I don't know if that's a charge.
If anybody hassles you,
Very
just sue him.
specific.
Just sue him. A few years later, he told Scientologists, if attacked on some vulnerable points by anyone or anything or any organisation, always find or manufacture enough threat against them to cause them to sue for peace. Don't ever defend, always attack.
Sounds very religious.
Yeah. By the start of the 60s, Hubbard was the leader of a worldwide movement with thousands of followers. A decade later, however, he left St. Mill Manor and moved aboard his own private fleet of ships as the Church of Scientology faced worldwide controversy. He's taken to the seas!
When no one can touch me.
Ahoy! This is kind of fun. This is going to make you very proud to live where we live, I guess, if you've made assumptions about Scientology.
In this studio.
In this studio, in our bunk beds.
In the bunk beds.
Scientology attracted increasing unfavourable publicity across the English-speaking world. It faced particular hostility in Victoria, Australia. where it's accused of brainwashing, blackmail, extortion, and damaging the mental health of its members.
And the career of Kate Sobrano.
Yeah, we will not have Kate Sobrano lost.
Those bedroom eyes, I must admit, there's no surprise. Thank you.
Is that Kate Sobrano?
As far as I know, what's that?
Is that called
Isn't
Bedroom
that
Eyes?
her only song?
I don't know.
Oh, not sorry, Kate. Sorry if you're listening.
She's listening.
Obviously, you've got many songs. I mean, in the sense of that is the only song
You need.
Ever.
ever in my eyes.
Oh, I see. In your bedroom,
my bedroom
eyes.
eyes. Yeah,
Yes.
very.
Very good.
Sounds like a
Very
cry
clever.
for help, doesn't it? Upon reflection.
Those bedroom eyes. I
Someone
must
please
admit,
help me. I am trapped.
in a
On board a ship with
fleet.
a man who wrote science fiction books.
Have
So
you ever
catchy.
heard that song before?
No. I don't,
Can
I
you
don't think I
tell?
know who Kate Sobrano is.
Huh.
Oh, all right.
Interesting. Please do go on.
The Victorian state government established a board of inquiry into Scientology in November of '63. Its report, published the following October, condemned every single aspect of Scientology and Hubbard himself. He was described as being of doubtful sanity and displaying a strong indication of paranoid schizophrenia with delusions of grandeur. Go Victoria. The report led to Scientology being banned in Victoria, Western Australia and South Australia, and led to more negative publicity around the world.
What year was this?
That was in the 65. A good year.
Oh, interesting.
Um,
1965. That's funny. So there was a time where Victoria banned religions.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they... Well, yeah, they did. But I'm thinking at the time they were sort of going, it's not a religion.
Right.
It's interesting too because then he travelled to the southern African country Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe.
That is correct.
Thank you. And looked
I was just going to say Zimbabwe.
into setting up a base there at a hotel. Despite his attempts to win over the local government, he was asked to leave the country.
Can you please leave?
Can you just not?
Hello, he goes in, does a big presentation.
It says he hand delivered champagne to the Prime Minister, and the Prime
that'd
Minister
be-
didn't want to see him.
So brutal.
Hand delivered
Yeah.
champagne.
Yeah.
What, you just walk into the Prime Minister's bedroom with the champagne and he just
Hello.
goes,
Please
"Get,
leave.
please leave."
So they
All right, I'm leaving that. Not the house, the country.
They
mate.
they refused to renew his visa, so he kind of had to leave. And then in '68, the British Minister of Health announced that foreign Scientologists would no longer be permitted to enter the UK, and Hubbard himself was excluded from the country as an undesirable alien. Further inquiries
Gave him an idea.
Oh my god, I got to incorporate this.
And then further inquiries were launched in Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa. So he's not all that welcome anywhere. After all this, Hubbard created the Sea Org fleet in early 1967, and it began an 8-year voyage sailing from port to port in the Mediterranean Sea and the eastern North Atlantic. The fleet travelled around. They rarely stayed anywhere for longer than 6 weeks. His personal assistant at the time later recalled, Hubbard said we had to keep moving because there were so many people after him. If they caught up with him, they would cause him so much trouble that he would be unable to continue his work. Scientology would not get in the world, and there would be social and economical chaos.
Get in the world.
If not,
Everyone, come on, just get the. Give me 5.
Hubbard, he said he publicly declared that he'd relinquished his management responsibilities of Scientology.
That's classic religion speak.
But I mean, they're still,
Relinquish management.
yeah, he's still getting
I've given up management.
daily updates of what's happening, and they're transferring him money and making sure that there's food,
That sounds more religious.
luxury food delivered to the boat, and
Luxury food.
luxury food.
I
Name
love it.
them. Lobster.
Lobster, that's a luxury food. What
Caviar.
else? Caviar, luxury food.
Champagne.
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 Champagnons.
And lasagna.
Lasagna's
Garfield's
a luxury
favourite.
food.
Expensive chocolates.
Chocolates.
Expensive chocolates. Really expensive chocolates. You've
A
also
box of expensive chocolates.
Oh.
got, like a rare gorilla sautéed in an even rarer gorilla's piss. Very luxurious. Luxurious. And deluxurious.
Oh, boy.
You know how to live like a cult leader.
Scientologists around the world were presented with this glamorous picture of the life on the sea, and many applied to join Hubbard aboard the fleet. What they found was rather different from the image that they were presented with. Most of those joining had no nautical experience at all. Mechanical difficulties and blunders by the crew led to a series of embarrassing incidents and near disasters. Following one incident in which the rudder of the Royal Scotsman was damaged during a storm, Hubbard ordered the ship's entire crew to be reduced to a condition of liability and wear grey rags tied to their arms. The ship itself was treated the same way, with dirty tarps tied around its funnel to symbolise its lower status. According to those aboard, conditions were appalling. The crew were worked to the point of exhaustion. They were given really small rations. They were forbidden to wash or change their clothes for several weeks. He maintained this really harsh disciplinary regime aboard the fleet, punishing mistakes by confining people to the Royal Scotsman's lower deck.
So imprisoning them.
Imprisoning them without toilet facilities and without food provided.
Oh, boy. It's taking a real weird turn.
Other times, he would get crew members thrown overboard and he would just watch on. Sometimes he would film it.
What is going on?
I have no idea.
And action.
Good. This is fun. From about 1970, Hubbard was attended aboard ship by the Children of Sea Org members, organised as the Commodore's messenger organisation. And basically they were mainly young girls dressed in hot pants and halter tops who were responsible for running errands for Hubbard. What sort of errands do you think they might be running?
I just getting luxury foods.
Mm-hmm.
Or...
Lighting his cigarette?
Yeah, lighting his cigarettes.
That's an errand they were running for him.
That's an errand.
Dressing him...
I'm under the pump today.
Yeah, now when I write down a list of things, number 1, get a cigarette.
Light it.
No.
That's number 2.
Oh, no, I know. I'm listing.
Sorry. Number 3, call the bank.
Call the bank.
Number 4, light another cigarette whilst you're still on the phone to the bank.
Because you're that cool.
And then number 6, call it a day.
That's a big day.
That's a big day.
Elron.
I've been running errands all day.
I'm pooped.
Elrons.
My list of Elrons.
In February of 1980, he disappeared into deep cover in the company of 2 trusted messengers. Messengers being like
20-year-old
followers.
hot-panted women?
Pat and Anne Broker.
Oh.
So for the next
I don't know what.
for the first few years of the 80s,
I don't know Pat and Anne. We're getting
Not
involved.
Pat and Anne.
They're family friends of ours.
From down the road?
So
No kidding.
for a few years in the early 80s, Hubbard and the Brokers lived on the move, touring the Pacific Northwest in a recreational vehicle.
It's a great TV name, by the way. Hubbard
And the Brokers.
and the Brokers.
Good band name.
Yeah.
They lived for a while in apartments in Newport Beach and in Los Angeles.
The OC.
He used his time in hiding to write his first new works of science fiction for nearly 30 years. They were called Battlefield Earth and Mission Earth.
That's Battlefield Earth.
John
is a
Travolta
movie?
film.
That's the big flop.
Widely regarded as one of the worst films of all time.
There you go.
Why?
It sucks.
Right.
I saw it when I was 10 and I thought, what is going on?
Oh, it's just confusing.
Yeah. Just shit.
Confusing and shit. That's the double.
What's the review?
For the last 2 years of his life, Hubbard lived in a luxury Bluebird motorhome on Whispering Winds, a 160-acre ranch near Creston, California. He remained in deep hiding while controversy raged in the outside world about whether he was still alive, and if so, where.
So he's in a motorhome.
No, now this is. I fast forwarded a little while because there's just so much, but I've just sort of jumped ahead to the last few years of his life. He spent his time writing and researching, according to a spokesperson, and he pursued photography and music, overseeing construction works and checking on his animals. He repeatedly redesigned the property, spending millions of dollars remodeling the ranch house, which went virtually uninhabited, and building a quarter-mile horse racing track with an observation tower, which was never used. But if I had millions, like the first thing I would do is obviously a racing track.
I would have gone observational tower and then go, what do I want to observe?
Race.
Quarter mile, I reckon.
Quarter mile. You must.
Oh, you must. That is really weird behaviour. Do you have horses?
No.
It
was never used. It was never used.
He was checking in on his animals as well. I like that.
Which
just like,
animals?
Yep, still there.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
Hey, cat. Yep, still a cat.
Still cool? You cool? Cool cat? All right. Stay cool.
Then he chucked him a shaka.
Yeah. Rigididge.
Rigididge.
Shit cat's got to wear rags.
Yeah.
You're a shit cat. Put the rag on. Put it on. Don't make me ask you 3 times.
I'm going to throw
If
you
I ask you a
overboard.
third time, that's the second rag. 3 times again. Third rag. 3 again.
How many rags do you want to wear?
Yeah. I've got 1 cat out the back.
I've got plenty. I got all day.
58 rags. It died of suffocation.
Oh.
Rag suffocation.
Hubbard suffered further ill health. He had pancreatitis.
What? He should have just cleared his fucking head.
Well, he should have.
Oh, no. He's getting a muggy brain.
He suffered a stroke on the 17th of January in 1986, and he died a week later. Should have cleared his head.
How old was he? 75.
Ish. Yes. Yeah. Well done, Dave. Yeah.
It's not, I mean, like for someone who claims that they can cure anything, it's not that long a lifespan.
All right, mate. It was a different time.
I mean,
It was. Matt was fucking born.
You'd be lucky to live to 75.
I'd call that a good innings.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good innings.
This is the Messiah.
What, has he ever called himself the Messiah?
Dave, come on, mate. He's just a psychologist.
He's just a man going
He's
about
just
his
a man
business.
trying to help people. Now, his body was...
He's just a man standing in front of another man telling him that he should think his cancer away.
That's so true.
All right, this is the last bit, I promise. So he did pass away in 86, and his body was cremated, and the ashes were scattered at sea. Scientology leaders announced that his body had become an impediment to his work, and that he decided to drop his body and continue his research on another planet, having learned how to do it without a body.
I have learned.
And with that, I finish my report.
Oh, that's a big finish. Yeah, I just dropped my body.
I've dropped my body. I've learned how to live without it.
You know how I figured it out?
Don't need it.
I built a 1/4-mile racetrack. This is what he was doing as I was learning. And then I was like, oh, I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Oh, hang on a second.
I hardly use my body for this at all. My soul flattened off a lot of that land.
Well, I didn't use my body. I used many other bodies. Slave
But
labour.
I directed them with my soul.
With my mind. Well, there's only one way to finish off an episode about a cult, and that is to thank our cult followers that support the show through Patreon. Patreon.com/DoGoOnPod. Every little cent that people chip in keeps the show going, and we appreciate that a lot.
And saves your soul.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see it as a cult at all. I see it as a way into an afterlife, and we promise you...
We promise you that.
Promise you that. That's a promise.
For $5 or more per month, we guarantee you a place in the afterlife.
You're welcome. Immortalised in name.
What type of dollar figure can you put on that guarantee?
Well, 5+.
Yeah, 5+.
And that's very reasonable.
If you want to take your chance of the 2, 1, or 0,
Ugh.
I don't think so. But we also would like to read out some people that have guaranteed a place in the afterlife.
Yes.
Matt, would you like to?
I'd love to start by with a big thank you to one of my favourite listeners, often corresponding via the Twitters. It's August James. Also, coincidentally, one of my top 12 favourite months.
Interesting.
Probably even higher than that, I'd say.
Dave, I think
I love
could...
August because it's spring, start of spring,
Not really.
end of winter.
Winter.
That's right.
I love those. I do love those shoulder months.
Do you also like it because Dave and I were born in that month and you just love celebrating our birthdays?
Yeah, I love how you guys bang on about it all the time.
All the
August
time.
1980. Jess on the 16th and Dave on the 23rd.
Of 1980?
Oh boy, did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh God.
1990.
Oh, no.
And we're the 26th and 28th.
And aren't half of all months shoulder months? I mean, every 3 months is a shoulder month.
Yeah. Love them shoulder months.
Anyway, thank you to August.
Bloody legend.
Absolute champion. Thank you very much. I would also like to send a shout out and a thank you.
And a guarantee.
And a guarantee. Oh, sorry, yeah, of course.
That's
and a guarantee.
much more important than a shout out. I've got to stress this enough.
Place in the
you
afterlife.
get a shout out and a place in the afterlife. Can't put a price on that. $5 plus.
Welcome to the afterlife.
Well, we haven't killed them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Sorry.
Can I just get through a sentence?
In the afterlife, no one talks over you.
Welcome to the afterlife, Sarah Mahoney. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead, but it was worth it.
We were dead the whole time.
We were dead the whole time.
That is a twist.
Thank you, Sarah,
That is a twist.
for listening and supporting the show. You are a lovely human being.
You are Mahoney and Mahomey.
Oh, very good.
Jess was not going to give you a pun, so I needed to.
Yeah, because I'm bad at it. We've discussed it. I'm so bad. I just want to genuinely say thank you,
You're
Sarah.
Mahoney and Mahoney.
And my brony.
There you go.
Well, hold the phone.
Okay.
Me.
Look, I'm
Because-
so close to dialing the number.
No,
But
Matt,
no,
hold it.
Hold it, because
Okay.
I've got to take a Callie. A cat Macaulay
Very good.
is one of our
No.
listeners, and I would
No,
like
I'm
to
being patronising
guarantee
with that one.
a place in the afterlife for you, Cat Macaulay. Thank you so much. With your pledge, you have guaranteed eternal happiness.
Look,
Good for you.
I feel like I've got to stand up for Kat here. I think she deserves better than that.
Better than eternal happiness.
Yeah.
She says with a yawn. What's better than that?
What's better than that? Eternal happiness plus a
jet ski.
a jet ski
So
and a
congratulations,
weekend away
Kat,
in the
you
Bahamas.
got a jet ski. Woo!
Just contact Dave Warnicky.
Yeah, at Dave Warnicky.
You will have to pick it up. I am giving away a jet ski. Haven't found a buyer on eBay.
Interesting.
Prepared to give it away to Cat Macaulay specifically.
Specifically, wow, okay. All right.
Just give Dave an email or
Or a Macaulay.
no. He
We'll not give out his phone number.
his phone number is private.
Please don't.
So thank you to you guys.
Thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. You do make the show happen. And if you pledge, you can get our bonus rewards. We just released an episode last week, a bonus one on Stockholm Syndrome.
Very
So
fascinating.
if you want to hear that, pledge to patreon.com/dogoonpod. And of course, the Melbourne Comedy Festival is fast approaching us, and we're all doing individual shows, but also combining to
Our forces combine.
I
am
am
Captain
Planet.
Podcast.
Oh, God, that's good.
or Planet Broadcasting.
I am Planet Broadcasting.
Captain Planet Broadcasting. To you,
I
Sonny.
am Captain Planet Broadcasting.
Oh, boy.
Well, this is a hot finish to the show.
But we're doing
It
four
is.
shows.
It is so hot in here. We haven't mentioned that once today.
I know, my friend, and
I'm pretty proud of
my
ourselves.
friend Ollie just the other night said, if you guys mention on the podcast again how hot it is in that studio, I'm going to fucking unsubscribe.
Oh.
And then we made a whole episode, and you said it in the last.
Well, if that's still in, that's because you didn't edit
I didn't
it out.
edit it out.
Well, if people want to
But Ollie would love the shout out. I'm so conflicted now.
Ollie, can you pay for air conditioning, and then we will never...
Yeah, we'll never whinge about it then, Ollie.
Just saying.
We'll call this the Ollie Studio.
But for live shows at the Melbourne Comedy Festival on Sundays in April, the first 4 Sundays at 3:30
The
PM.
first 4 Sundays?
Yes.
So all of them?
There is a 5th one, Jess. It's the 30th of April.
We're also giving out free hugs at the shows as well.
Don't promise that.
I'm giving out free hugs at the shows. And also, as well as those shows, Jess and I have got a few shows, stand-up shows coming up in Stratford and Paynesville in Victoria on Friday the 17th of March and Saturday the 18th of March. And then Jess has bailed on this leg of the tour, but we're going to Canberra, Wollongong and Wagga Wagga with a sick lineup
Yes.
of some of our best and funniest mates on Wednesday the 22nd of March in Canberra at the Comedy Festival there, Thursday March 23rd and Friday 24th of March. You can get details for all that at stupidoldstudios.com/tour. Stupidoldstudios.com/tour. Love to see you there.
Would love to see you there.
I'm pointing at
You're
Jess.
pointing at me, I'll be there. I
She
told
will
you
be
I'll
there.
be there.
To some of the gigs.
To some of them, I had to bail on some because you put them on weekdays and I've got a job.
Yeah, I've got a job and that's bringing the laughter.
Okay, and so you'll go do that. I got a job in customer service.
Well,
And that's bringing the service.
my job is bringing the laughter was bringing you there and making them laugh.
Oh, I see. Aww.
Yeah, Matt is just
And
a
I've
tool
fa-
promoter.
He's
I've
transporting the light. He's going to drive me
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I have no direct relationship with the laughter. So I've kind of failed in my job by not getting you to Canberra, but that's okay. We got a sick lineup. It's such a good lineup.
Very good lineup. It's going to be great.
You can get in contact with us at any time via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That's all at DoGoOnPod. And email dogoonpod@gmail.com. And if you want to look at the description of the episode, there's actually hyperlinks to all that stuff these days. So get involved. Also, the ticket link to our comedy festival show. And can I just say, by finishing, a lot of people have been sharing stuff on Twitter and Facebook and tagging friends in posts. So if you think an episode, maybe a topic specific up someone's alley, let them know about the show. It really does help us if you share it around. And some people, they go, I don't know, I like the idea of podcasts. I've spoken to people. I've told, I'll do a podcast. Oh, podcasts sound fun, but I just don't know how to get them. Some people just don't know, believe it or not. So do them a favour, get out their app, make them download a show, and we can spread the love.
And it would be also great to, if you want to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or wherever, that'd be awesome. And just thank you.
What about an honest rating?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
mean, if you think...
An honest 5-star rating. If you're going to be more honest than that, please don't waste anyone's time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You get a 9 out of 10.
I like
a 9 out of 10 in looks, and Matt, still not sure what you're good at, but you're great at something.
I'm great at really enjoying the reviews people write because they're fucking always so sweet.
So sweet.
So
Guys,
sweet.
I'm going to step in and say we've got to wrap it up right here.
And moving to that beat.
That beat.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
There's a mid-mark. I'll stop
As
singing.
Jess, well, I mean,
Regina.
Yeah, there you go. You with me.
Took me a while.
I didn't get it, but because I'm trying to say thank you so much for listening to the episode. We'll be back next week with another report. Will it be the Simpsons episode?
Will it? I'm going to hold my breath.
Oh, God. You'll be holding for a year. Goodbye.
Laters.
Bye.
Oh, fuck.